definitely hadn't been good to this one. We're going to pull out the engine, suspension, everything. We might need to make it rear-wheel drive.
I bought me this new 2021 Chevy Cadillac 4500.
Man, first thing we got to do, remove all the old suspension.
We'll make a 4-link setup for it.
Man, I just want to have a good ride, man.
Oh my God! Look at this! This is crazy!
I'm Bill Carlton. I built my first truck when I was 16. And ever since, me and my guys have been out here creating with our hands. Building the biggest, lowest, baddest custom trucks and cars in the game. People don't come here for what they need. They come here for what they want. This is Texas Metal. Here at the Houston Garden Center today, the owner, Kim, gave me a call, said she's got a project for me to check out. You know, if this is the one she wants built, we got a lot of work to do.
Hey, Bill.
Hi, Kim.
Nice to meet you.
Hey, nice to meet you.
There she is. 1974 Cadillac Eldorado convertible.
A 74 Cadillac, that's your dream car.
I wouldn't say it was my dream car, but for an antique car, it was where I wanted to start because it was the year I was born, and my parents drove Cadillacs, and so that's the car that I wanted when I thought about getting an antique car. When I was growing up, Cadillacs were the best car that you could have, and I can't help but to think about my old neighbor when we carpooled, and I would slide across the back of the seat as she would turn corners because I think there was like 5 of us in the back seat. These cars have always been in my life, and I've always really wanted one.
So what are you seeing in this?
I want to totally transform this car.
Total overhaul.
Total overhaul. I want it to be a head turner.
Kim, this is, you know, I'm very good at what I do, but don't get mad at me. I think this is one of the ugliest Cadillacs I've ever seen, so.
No, I've seen your show. Sorry.
You know, a 1974 Cadillac, it isn't cool. But with all the real estate we have to work with, we're going to make it cool. Nice new paint, and we got to have some big wheels and tires. Some 24s on it.
Wow.
And, of course, you got a Cadillac. We want it to ride good, so we got to put air suspension on it and make it real low.
Okay, I got it.
What do you got under the hood?
Stock engine.
Let's check it out. It does open, right?
It's heavy, Bill. Whoa.
Man, it's a huge engine, but not a lot of go.
No.
So I think, you know, a late model LS, 500 plus horsepower under here, but, you know, this being a front wheel drive, we might need to make it rear wheel drive.
I know you can do that.
Let's check out the interior. Is that real wood?
Yeah, I think that might be plastic, though.
And I'm surprised the interior looks fairly good, but it's red and really old. So we're going to just rip everything out, just start fresh. I want you to be able to get in, sit down, and just feel cool in here.
I want that kind of car.
Yes. Let's check out what's in the trunk. Way better than the hood. We definitely have a lot of room to not only have nice sound project towards the front, but
Gotcha, it's a Cadillac.
right. You know, we'll come up with something really nice, you know, to bring the interior color and everything all the way into the trunk and look stylish. So no matter where you go, you can pop the trunk too and kind of show off a little bit. What are you thinking on color? You got a favorite color?
I'm leaning towards like a metallic root beer brown. It's one of my favorites. I love the gold flakes and the way that the sun hits it. I think it's a way to keep the car true to the era also.
My mom used to have an old root beer brown Monte Carlo. So
Yeah.
I think that'd fit really good with that car.
That's kind of the way I'm looking.
Yeah.
And then as far as the interior goes, there's only one thing.
What's that?
Somewhere in that interior, I'd like a little red and yellow umbrella
A red and yellow umbrella?
for our logo. Somewhere on the interior in there.
You got it. We'll make it happen.
Sounds good.
We're going to get back to the shop and get after it. You know, walking up to this car, you see the rust. And a lot of people are deceived when they see a little rust on the hood, a little rust here. I think that's it. But looks are definitely deceiving on a project like this. Oh, Mother Nature definitely hadn't been good to this one. Doors shut good. The glass is perfect. The rubber's all new. You get a project in like this, you're starting from the very, very bottom. You have to repair every bit of that before you even get started customizing. A lot of the times, the vehicle we start with isn't worth hardly anything, but that's not what it's about. It's about that connection with your car. That's what drives the whole project. That's what drives the whole customizing industry, is the personalization that you want to put on your emotional attachment. To somebody like Kim, she's willing to go the extra step. Not only bring it back to life, to make it extra cool. A lot of work, but we're definitely up for it. We're going to build Kim a really, really, really cool 1974 Cadillac.
I don't think that's on right.
Think it's what they're talking about on the rap song? Sitting sideways?
I'm thinking it's probably the whole car. It's supposed to be sideways.
Not just the hood?
Not just the hood.
All right. Well, little backstory on this. This is Kim Hooper. She owns a Houston Garden Center here in town. This is a 1974 Cadillac. She says she's born 1974, so she wanted something. What she picked.
Why Eldorado, though?
Right? I could probably think of a couple of cooler Cadillacs to pick, but this is what we got to work with.
This is the one she picked.
There is quite a few drawbacks to this car. It's not the most stylish of all the Cadillacs for sure. Another drawback, of course, is all the rust.
Oh, the body shop's gonna love you for this one.
Oh, yeah. Hey, it's job security for them for sure, right?
Yeah.
Let's check out underneath the hood. Show you what we're working with.
Oh, man.
This front-wheel drive configuration, gotta go. Gotta go.
Ain't cool.
Gotta go. Rip everything out, and we'll convert it to rear-wheel drive. New LS. That way she can push the gas pedal. Do some big old gnarly burnouts.
From the back.
Yes.
Man, I really like this idea. This is gonna be cool. It'll be like one of the only ones that'll be converted to rear-wheel drive.
Yeah, with our framework, our control arms, big brakes, and a nice looking wheel and tire. And we're gonna put some 24s on it.
Yeah.
As far as interior,
Oh, that's not too horrible.
but
Can't have that.
no. Rip out the seats, carpet, put a new roof on it, new dash. Only thing she asked, she wants to incorporate her company logo in it somewhere. Check the trunk out.
You already know what's in here, don't you?
Nobody trying to.
Kind of nervous about what's in the trunk. Oh,
It ain't too bad. The lot color, the style, and everything way back into the trunk. To, just finish everything off. We don't want to leave it looking like this back here.
no.
Of course, to make a cool car like this, we can't just paint it and put interior in it. That's a restoration.
Right.
We don't do restorations.
No.
So, strip this whole car, get the metal work right, get the body work right, and then she requested to have a root beer brown with a lot of flake cap.
It's right up your alley.
It's gonna be cool.
Right on. I've been looking for a sugar mama for quite a while, but I don't want to end up in that trunk.
When I hit the back quarters on this car, rust falls everywhere, and that's definitely not a good thing. First things first, we're going to pull out the engine, suspension, interior, let's just say everything.
To the other side.
And then we're going to send it off to blast. We'll see how big a job this really is.
I just hope the seats work. This car has power seats, and in order to get them out, we have to be able to move it back and forth to get to all the bolts. So I'm going to power this up, and hopefully we don't catch a car on fire. These seats being powered, right now they're all the way back and down against the floor, so I can't get to the suck. Basically, we just took a 5-minute job and turned it into a 4-hour job. Ouch! Get apart! Get out of there. The other side was not this hard.
Bless it. Come on, come apart. I hate you. Get out of there.
That was the electric motor. Now, all I gotta do is take a screwdriver and manually turn the gears, roll this thing forward, and we'll be able to get to the bolts.
It's
front seats are out, so next we get the rear seat out, rear quarter panels out. We'll let them finish getting the car taken apart, and we'll get the roof off of it.
All right, you got it? Come on. So now that John got rid of the whole interior, we got rid of the exterior, now it's time to separate the body from the frame. What we're doing now is gonna send it to sandblast. Hopefully it comes in good condition.
Blast, and it's just as bad as I thought. The guys over in the body shop, they got a lot of work ahead of them.
So we just got our Cadillac back from Media Blast. So basically right now we're just making sure we get all our metal straight and take care of all the holes that we have on it and start our body work on it. We have some rust right here that we have to take care of. We got to cut this piece out. They're going to build a new piece of metal and weld it on there. Trying to hammer and dolly all the bottom of this piece right here so I can give it a curve. So now that I'm close to the shape that I want, now I can curve it a little. Making a flat piece into a curved piece takes a lot of time. You're trying to save as much body work as you can. You don't want to, put a piece on there and put a lot of filler on it. Take it to the table, hold my line a little more. Punch some holes on the bottom of it so I can spot weld into the car. That'll keep the bottom of it together. Grind it and get ready for body work.
Got a 74 Cadillac, which is front wheel drive, which is totally not what we want in this situation. We're gonna add a lot of power, make it really low, and put some cool wheels on it. You can't do any of those with this front wheel drive configuration. We're gonna reconfigure everything, make it a rear wheel drive, so it's gonna hold a nice new LT engine, transmission, drive shaft, rear end. Everything is gonna go through the car now. In order to do all that, we're gonna make a brand new subframe. Anytime you're building something literally in the air, every little measurement is so critical just to make sure everything's 100% true and straight and level. Once you establish all that, you can start going. You can start building, start creating. So that's the point we're at now. Everything's a level, everything's true. Now we're going to start building.
All right, so cross member basically is going to tie in our frame to our core support, and also it's going to hold up our suspension. Basically, I need to take this 2x5 and tie it into this 2x3. I'm going to cut with my cutoff wheel all the way down. So you see, when I cut these, I kind of got this arch to them. Just using this clamp right now to make sure they're perfectly even. The closer I get to the end, it's going to be really hard to push down. Go ahead and start welding them out now. Then we'll be putting them on the Cadillac.
So we're in a really good spot right now. We got our cross member all set in place and connected to the main frame rails. Only thing left is connecting front of the cross member to the core support.
It's pretty nice. Well, you can see, I took the 5-inch and tapered it down to 3.
In our battle of the bays, every once in a while, a bay is set empty for a few days. My job as a business owner, keep those bays busy. Even if that means putting in a quicker build with an urgent need, like this 2020 Kodiak that an old friend of mine just dropped off at the shop. What's happening, man?
What's up, Bill? What's going on, man? Y'all busy or what?
Where you been, man? I ain't seen you at the shows lately.
Man, you know how it is, man. They keep us busy here at work, man. But I got a little something coming up. I bought me this new 2021 Chevy Kodiak 4500.
Man, those are nice trucks, man. Real nice.
I want to see if you can do some little work for me on the back. It rides a little rough, man.
I know it. These trucks come with a big old diesel Duramax V8 with 700 foot-pounds of torque. We've done a lot of 4500 trucks over the years, and they're not exactly designed for a smooth ride.
What do you think, man? Can you hook me up? Put me a little 4-link, put something back there for me?
You're talking about just the back, right? So
just the back, man. Just the back.
hangers, 4-link, rear suspension with bags on it.
That's it, man. I just want to take it to a show it off, man, and have a good ride, man. So I know you can do it.
Absolutely, and still be able to haul a trailer and
Yes,
what the
sir.
truck's meant for.
Yes, sir.
We got to build some running boards for that also.
Oh yeah. We'll do that. We'll throw it in there too, man.
You know what? You might have called me at the perfect time. Out in the shop, we're moving a bunch of stuff around. We're finishing a few things. This one time, I'm going to skip you a line and we're going to put you down and get you done, man.
Appreciate it.
Something like that, we can get in and out fairly quick.
I know you're going to do some bad work, bro.
We got you, man. We got you.
All right, bud. Thanks.
All right, man. I'll talk to you real soon.
What's up, Timmy? What we got here? Man, Lulu, you know as well as I know, these things with these big spring packs, they ride horrible unless you have a big load on them. Tried to drive for a couple weeks, ended up beating to death. So pull the wheels off, take the hanger off, take the leaf springs out of it, put a small notch in it. We'll make a 4-link setup for it, upper bag mount. You can tell now that we have taken off the wheels. You got these springs in the back that are heavy duty. We're gonna eliminate that and start all over and give them a better ride. Hold on, those are heavy as hell. You got it? Watch out, watch out. I wanna go ahead and tack my C-notch in, find the center of where the rear end's gonna go.
The reason we're taking this section out, when this truck airs all the way out, we want it to sit that much more lower. Beautiful! And all we gotta do now is box that in on the bottom. We're gonna bend some flat bar. This is gonna go right underneath the bottom of that frame. We'll get this fitted in, it's welded out. Time to move on to making the 4-link tabs. Get them placed here on the axle, and then we can make the bars that connect from those to the hanger right off the frame. So what we got here is our bracket that gets welded to the rear axle. Being as we do so many Kodiaks, we already have this design saved on the computer. So every time we get a truck in, all we gotta do is hit go, and we'll burn these brackets out. They're ready to get put on the axle. Now we got those tagged in place. All we gotta do now is we'll get this bolted up there and mark where we gotta cut. Get that there. And we'll have as a 4-link bar completed. Now we got a top bar on, bottom bar on, connected from the axle to the frame. And what this is gonna let the axle do is move up and down as you're driving down the road and let it come into this notch to give it a smooth ride.
The 4-link added a panhard bar to the 2021 4500. Because this truck's a lot lower with the notch in the frame, the axle is going to travel a lot higher. So we need to raise up the factory hitch that came with the truck.
Definitely need to put a spacer or...
Yeah, it had to be a 3-inch. Being as we C-notched the truck so it could sit lower, we had to raise the gooseneck hitch up to give us clearance between the differential and the bottom of the ball. So all we did was make a little spacer to raise it up evenly on both sides, and we'll be able to weld this out on the sides, make it nice and strong.
John told me to make a template to cover up this and make it look a lot nicer here. So now I gotta go trace it on some metal, get it cut out, and bring it back over for John to fully weld it. There you go, buddy.
Chop, chop. Now that we got the end cut and capped off, it looks 100 times better than it did before. Not only does it look good, it's also stronger. So let's get on to the other side and get this thing done.
All right, so we got the door panels for the 74 Caddy. Pretty much just rotted, terrible. Besides that, doesn't have our flare.
While we're turning the 74 Cadillac to a rear-wheel drive on one side of the shop, over in the interior, John's shaping fiberglass inserts for what will be custom door panels.
So close. My plan, we're gonna make a fiberglass mold of the insert that goes on the door. I'm gonna take some acrylic, heat it up, and bend it around the base. And once we got that done, we'll backlight it and have something really cool on this kind of stockish door panel. All right, let's take a little bit of body work. We'll have this thing smoothed out. Got everything shaped out, body worked out. Next step is just start laying out some lines on here, draw some stuff, and come up with a shape for the insert. So what I'll do is I'll just take this transfer tape, I'll draw out my pattern, lay it on a piece of chipboard, get it cut out, transfer it into some 1/4" MDF. We'll double stick this down to a piece of acrylic. All right, off we go. Get the router table, get it cut out, and get to bending. So this acrylic is nothing more than plastic. So when you put heat to it, it starts bending, gets all soft and floppy and pliable. Take some weight. With that weight there, it'll start to sag on its own. And as it starts to do that, then we'll go in with clamping it into place. All right, it's nice and cool. Let's go ahead and break it down and move on to the next step. I'm gonna create a pocket on this panel. It's fun coming up with little things like this that you can add in and just kind of update what's in the car. Still using the same lines and the same idea and the principles of the car itself. Perfect. Which is one of the reasons they like the car. Give it our own little pizzazz. Let's get to it. In order to wrap this panel, we've got to embed this LED in it. We're going to take this LED and...
Yeah, we're down.
The way when we laminate it with our wood veneer, we'll see this edge glow.
So you're putting down a wood veneer and it's going to look like the wood is emitting light.
Yes.
Okay, that's badass.
I like it. I can wrap that panel now.
Alrighty. We got the front half of the frame done on the 74 Eldorado. Now it's time for the back half of the frame. If we're going to make it rear-wheel drive, we might as well make it rear-wheel drive. So we're going to use a 20x12. When this thing's going down the road, it's just going to look like it's got some big old meats up underneath of it. In order to do that, we're going to cut out the back half of the frame and build a subframe that's a little narrower. That's going to give us room for those big, wide 12-inch wheels. All right, I'm going to go transfer this to the table. And we'll start making a frame. Next thing is cutting some metal, actually placing on the table, getting it tacked together.
Man, you done had to work for me already.
Yeah, made it easy for you.
That. Alright, so I got my 2x3 3/16 loaded up on the saw for the angles. So if I just go from 1 to 2 to 3, all these angles are going to match up perfectly. This was my last cut. This is going to be the end of my frame. Next thing is go ahead and lay it on the table. Let's go ahead and start welding everything out. So when I look at other cars, the first thing I'm looking at obviously is the welds. You know, I mean, I ride motorcycles. That's just a few welds on the stem that holds the front tire on. So, you know, welds naturally are a concern for me. Any kind of weak spot in something like this could tear or break. So it's a lot of responsibility you have when you're building cars like this for people. Not only, you know, to make everything look perfect and straight, and safety is my #1 concern. Here we go. All the welds are nice and solid. Got a good start to the back half of the frame. So putting the new frame in, we're going to go ahead and cut the existing rest of the original frame off the back half. So much room for new frames.
I'm going to help you real quick, get it all stood up, square up, and we're putting two little temporary pieces, boom, boom. 2x3 back here on the back cap. 2x3 right here for the front of the fuel cell in the front of the frame.
Now we got our braces on, a little bit of weld on here so all of our tacks aren't breaking while we're moving around the car. I'll go get Bill, throw the sucker up there, and tie the rest of the frame in.
Well, the subframe looks good, fits good, nice and narrow now. We got plenty of room for the big wheels. Now we just need to connect it to the last little part of the factory frame, and it's almost rear-wheel drive. The chassis on the 74 Eldorado is done. It's time to make this rear-wheel drive. You know, this car was originally front-wheel drive, so there's no room for a transmission or drive shaft tunnel or anything connecting the front drivetrain to the back. So what we have to do is build a transmission tunnel. First step is cutting the floor out, the firewall out, all for the transmission and the drive shaft. Putting the transmission engine down in place, going from there.
How much farther back can I go? About 2.
We got the firewall cut out. Not something you expect every day to see. A 74 Caddy rear-wheel drive.
Now we got a bigger transmission in here. Had to make a bigger trans tunnel. The trick to this now is, you see all my negative spaces, I'm gonna have to add metal there, tied into the tunnel to anchor it down. Once it's done with that, I'll trim everything out. It's gonna look slick. Okay, so I'm utilizing the metal I had in here before. There's nothing wrong with it, it's good. It's not like this rotten stuff. Just a little bend in the floor. You can see how it comes up right here. It's gonna make it nice and even so your foot feels exactly the same on the floor. I'm gonna go ahead and fill this gap in right here. This right here is something you don't see or people don't think about. Normally you just think about the wheels, the paint, the interior, but nobody really pays attention to the small stuff like this. It might take me, 30 minutes to make one cut to get all this tied in like you see right now. But it's really crucial. It's kind of like the thankless part of putting a car together. All these little pieces like this, you don't see on the end.
It only took us a few days to knock out the air suspension on the 2021 4500, but it'll be a night and day difference. When Sammy's out driving, the ride's gonna be way more comfortable than stock. Not to mention the stance is gonna be that much better as well.
Now we got all the suspension busted all apart. Get Lulu to get it painted. We can get this thing put back together. Take it for a ride down the road.
There's always a juggle in any business, especially a custom car shop. When you have the big, long, drawn-out builds and you have the quick day-to-day jobs, it's always a juggle to make all that work. So when Sammy called, he needed a quick job done. It just worked out perfectly where we could get it in, get it knocked out, and get him on the road. Sammy, what's up, man?
What's up, Bill? How you been, bro?
All right, man.
Good.
All right. I know you're waiting on your truck to get out of town, right?
Yes, sir.
Man, you've been a friend of mine for a while, and we had to get you hooked up, man.
Appreciate it, man. I know it's last minute thing.
Yeah.
But we got a show, and I know you're the right guy for it. I've been knowing Bill for at least over 10 years now. We've been in the same trucks he built and his guys.
It's ready for you. It's ready. It's going to ride good, handle good, and pull whatever you want to also.
That's what it's for, right?
That's it, man. Let's check it out.
Oh, man. That's killer right there, man. I like that. Oh, yeah. Oh,
That's
yeah.
it, man.
Ooh, yeah, I like that.
Gets down, too.
That's it right there. That did it.
Yeah.
That did it.
What's up, Sammy?
What's up, Tim?
How you doing?
All right.
Sammy. What you think, Sammy?
Oh, man, I love it, man.
The first thing we had to do, get it in, remove all the old suspension.
Okay.
Those big, heavy springs that were in it. We had to notch the frame.
Okay.
Just to get it down a little lower. We built big hangers in the front and a huge heavy-duty four-link with some big bags on it, too.
I like that.
Whatever you want to put on this truck, those big bags will handle it for sure.
Whatever, whenever, huh?
That's it, man. The gooseneck hitch that you already had, we just relocated it a little higher so the truck could go down a little lower. We mounted the valves up underneath the cab, mounted 2 compressors, tank, and everything is accessible for you later if you ever need to work on it for sure.
Good deal, man.
Of course, running boards. I know eventually you're gonna, finish it off yourself with the bed, and so we went ahead and built the running boards for you. So it's really gonna help you out a lot, man, to be able to raise and lower when you're hooking up to your trailer and to have a nice, smooth ride. So we do what we gotta do. Man, you ready to roll?
I'm ready. Hey, big thank you for the guys here at the Stinson. I know it was a last-minute thing, but I'm glad that they pulled it off. They did a great job, and I'm ready to go show it at the shows.
Hey, one more thing. What you got? Got to put that sticker on the back now.
Yeah.
Then you're ready to roll to the show.
Come on.
All right, man.
All right, we're ready.
Now you're ready to roll.
Now we're ready.
Bodywork are all done on the 74 Eldorado. So we're going to send the frame to powder coat. And now I can pick the paint color. So I just got a sample piece from the powder coater for a 74 Cadillac. So it's got some texture in it. It's a brown color and black all mixed together. You know, it hides a lot of imperfections that are in the factory frame, and it just ties everything together. So I have a sample of the powder, and then I'm going to pick a color that matches the powder coat. A root beer brown with a heavy flake. So kind of just going through the browns that we have. And I think on this, it's an easy choice. With this brown has not only a heavy flake, but a pearl also. I think that's a color, man. Sunset bronze metallic. Man, when the sun hit it, it's gonna go crazy. So it's definitely gonna be the shine she's looking for. You know, as I've said, I've never been a fan of the 74 Cadillac Eldorado, but with everything we're doing to this, it's starting to look like a very different vehicle. The paint alone is really going to make a statement.
So this paint is pretty expensive because all the pearl and crystals they have in it. This gallon, just the base, is going to be about close to $2,000. So we don't want to mess this up because it ain't going to be cheap. I think just this bottle right here is about like $200. So gold pearl we gotta put on there. So this is flattening agent. You don't want your base coat, you know, shiny, and your clear is gonna make it shine. Alright, so this is it. We got all our colors in there. Now we're gonna take it to the paint shaker, shake it for about 5 minutes, and we have our color together in that big old Cadillac. I think everybody likes the metallic on those big cars, especially on Cadillac. Having a Cadillac is like a symbol of luxury, I guess. You know, you'll get some attention on that big car.
The owner, Kim, wants to incorporate her company logos into the interior, but she left it to us to figure out how and where to put it.
In order to take their company logo that's just 2D flat artwork and make it into something that's 3D, we have to start laying out some lines that make a grid pattern, and we'll do this over and over until we have something that looks like we want. We're just kind of blocking it in right now to build it in 3D. It'll look really cool when it's done.
Hey, sister.
Hey, what's up?
Stumbled across these delightful, wonderful pieces of 1974 modern art.
I saw these on the doors.
Yes. I want to unsee them on the doors.
This was a factory piece?
Yes.
All right, I'll draw something up. though. I was looking at their logo on the internet, and I was seeing this house over the umbrella, and then they have the red and yellow canopy that's very distinct. So we can take some of these other features and add them to the umbrella so that we can kind of fill up the square space. I'm all set. I got the job right here. I'm going to walk this over to our 3D printer. The machine's going to come up to temperature and do its little ones and zeros. Then each of those layers are going to be drawn here and go up and drawn more and up and drawn more until the design is done. All right, it looks like our 3D printing is done. These are our door medallions. I like that a lot. Our spiffy new squares. I think this is going to look really cool.
While John and Jen are cranking on the interior, the frame is back from powder. Now we can get to building that rolling chassis. Looks good, huh?
It's really gonna accent that car real nice.
Man, I love the hammer tone, the copper vein. You know, it's got the brown and the black imperfections in the factory frame. It just ties everything together. It's gonna look good. Get the engine on this thing, all the suspensions, get a rolling chassis, man. Then we'll set the body right on it, man.
That's good. I'm good. It's a Cadillac. Man, you always remember that one car when you're little, when you wanted or when you wanted to drive or when you rode around it.
Yeah.
Everybody has one of them cars, right?
Man, it's definitely a project me and my dad had. It was a 38 Ford with a 6-inch chop on it. It had a 427 in it. I mean, it was your typical straight rod. Everywhere we took the truck, I mean, it was just a good time. We didn't even make it back to the house before we had already chopped the top.
The one that stuck with me was the old family wagon 83 Cadillac Coupe de Ville. Me and my brothers all rode in that thing, and
How many fights in the back seat y'all have?
oh, a ton of them. Ton of fights.
Man, growing up on the farm, when I got to go to town, I'd always see a buddy of mine back then. He had the hydraulics on a little Mazda. So I was 13, 14, see his truck going down the road.
Blew your mind, right?
It made me realize you can do anything you want if you put enough work into it. You know, you look back now and you realize how much that becomes part of the family. That car's still in your family. You still have that car. When your kids are in the backseat arguing, that's what your parents went through. I still have the first truck that I built.
You know, since it got here, it's hard to think of a spot that we haven't touched on this 74 Eldorado. From making it rear-wheel drive, to the custom chassis and suspension, you know, all that bodywork and paint, and now we're finishing up that handmade interior.
I'm working on the subwoofer enclosure for Kim's 74 Cadillac. What this is a brace for inside of the enclosure so that when the subwoofer is playing and the box is trying to flex, this is actually going to hold it together so that you don't end up with a reverberating sound out of the box. Since you'll be able to see it through the window, I'm dressed up a little bit. We'll just put a chamfer on it, give it a little bevel, straighten it up. In the custom world, it's all the little things that you do that make all the difference. Coming together perfect. So, Jen's working on some side panels. I'm gonna start working out the front panels, get all this tied together, work our way around, we'll get this trunk wrapped out.
You know, all in all, I wasn't a fan of the 74 Caddy, but, you know, a good team comes together and makes cool stuff. An old car that you would just walk right past and not ever care in the world about to what it is. Man, you're talking about a transformation, and that is most definitely the definition of custom. It's been a long journey for the 74 Caddy. Now it's time to give it back to Kim.
Hey, Bill, how are you?
Hey, good.
Man, when I got your call last night, I didn't sleep a wink. I couldn't wait to get over here and see what you have done to my car.
When I came to your business and seeing that car for the first time, I definitely had reservations of taking on the job. I wasn't fond of the body style whatsoever, but since then, went through every nut and bolt, and we made that Cadillac come alive. The car is beautiful now. I'm impressed.
Sounds like I made you a fan of a 74 Eldorado now.
Yeah, now I am. Check this out.
Yes! Oh my God! Oh my God, it looks amazing! Look at it!
Drop it down, man!
Oh my God, look at this! This is crazy! I'm gonna have to do this all the time when I pull up somewhere a long time. I'm just speechless. I'm so excited to finally have it finished. It's beautiful, Bill.
It's a long way from what it was, right? Is that the right color brown you were looking for?
Perfect.
Getting that paint cocktail perfect, you know, with the right pearl, with the right metallic, is key to making a job like this look 100%. 24s dropped all the way on the ground just changes the whole attitude of a vehicle. You pull this car up, you set it on the ground, everybody knows you've arrived in a cool car. We couldn't put a good looking wheel underneath of it, have a lot of power on the hood, and still keep it front wheel drive. So we just built a whole new part of the frame and made it rear wheel drive.
So we can do some burnouts now?
Absolutely. You got something really cool here, and it's one of a kind. I want you to check out what we did under the hood.
Oh my God, look at that.
Long gone is the old Cadillac engine. This is a late model LT. You wanted some power under the hood? That's it.
This is amazing.
When you pop the hood, people are going to be impressed with what you got.
I think they will. I'm impressed.
Let's check out the interior.
Oh my God, look at it.
You wanted it loud.
Yep.
This is definitely loud now. Have you seen the door panels, all the speakers in it? New console, wireless charging, just like a new car. And you see the big transmission hump. Wasn't anything there before, it was just flat.
I love how you did the wood grain on the sides. It's modern, but it still has that 1974 Eldorado feel.
And it's all backlit also. It looks really cool at night. You wanted your company logo built in here somewhere, and we have it in the door panels itself.
Never would have thought you would have incorporated it there, but I'm very pleased. It looks amazing. I don't think you missed one detail, Bill.
Well, you want to check the trunk out?
Let's go check it out.
Pop it up, man.
Oh my God. This is as cool as the rest of it.
Right. She had to have room for the bodies in the back, so we left you a lot of room back here. And it also has storage underneath here also, so you can still haul stuff and not have to worry about it sliding around. You had to have it loud, so we've got you a 12-inch sub in here also, so you not only hear it, you feel it.
Absolutely beautiful. Bill and his guys definitely knocked it out of the ballpark on this one. I can't thank you enough for everything you've done. I love this car.
So we did good.
You did great is what you did.
I love hearing that. You made me a fan of the 74.
I'm glad I could bring you around. Thank you.
I can't thank my guys enough. Transforming something like what it was, what it is now. This is most definitely a bunch of frames here at Extensive, but never an all-tube chassis before. You get a little nervous of how big of a project something like this is. You know, one of my favorite vehicles just rolled into lot, the Hummer H1.
We need help getting a cage built.
They're going to use this as their chase truck, and they want it really safe.
We want to do one more thing. Oh, man.
I told you I had something for you.
That's crazy.
I'm Bill Carlton. I built my first truck when I was 16. And ever since, me and my guys have been out here creating with our hands. Building the biggest, lowest, baddest custom trucks and cars in the game. People don't come here for what they need. They come here for what they want. This is Texas Metal.
Off-road buggy. You know, I want something that's going to go anywhere, do anything, and not have any issues. That's what brings me out here today. What stronger chassis is out there than a monster truck? You know, a friend of mine, Dylan, told me I could come out today and just drive his around and get a feel for it. You know, see what this chassis, this suspension's all about. Trucks, what can I say? There's not a better truck on the planet. A day like this is a dream come true. From a little kid going in the arenas, seeing the monster trucks jump, run around, just go crazy. I mean, today is an awesome day. To finally get to do that in person while doing some research, good day.
Well,
man,
what do you think?
Man, I appreciate that, man. That's every guy's dream to get to do that.
No problem. It's a big tumble buggy, really, you know.
The one thing I'm really interested in is the chassis design itself. I've had a bunch of toys over the years, and, you know, side by sides, and right out the box, you take them out, and they fail 50% of the time.
Yeah.
I want to build a tube chassis buggy with a lot of horsepower, big wheels and tires, and I want to be able to take it wherever I want to take it and not have issues. So I was thinking, what is the strongest chassis around that's been, tried and true? And you got it right.
Yeah.
Obviously, there's not any.
Yeah, we put them through its paces, like we jump 20, 30 feet every weekend, There's really no weak point on the chassis.
Right. I know you guys designed this on a computer.
This one was designed in a program called SolidWorks. You can literally build the chassis, manipulate it, and not only that, you can strength test it and everything like that. So that's really the cool part is you can test like the weaknesses and, if you got to add a bar or something like that, you can literally take that and then extract the files. And then if you want to send it to a guy that cuts it, they can perfectly tube notch every tubing. So it'd be like a big puzzle piece, you just put it together.
I can definitely do that.
I feel like that's what you need.
For sure.
There you go. And then you'd be doing backflips and everything else like me.
I don't know about that.
Come on now.
Thank you.
Ain't no problem. Thanks for coming out.
Talk to you soon.
Yes, sir. See you later.
I'm known for hand-making chassis, and I'm proud of it. But man, after driving this thing, I'm ready to give the new computer age a shot. Maybe just this one time. Vehicles just rolled into lot. The Hummer H1, iconic, just military, tough truck. I'm gonna go outside and see what's going on with it. What's up, fellas?
Hey, Bill, how's it going? What's
how you doing, man?
Good.
Mod Mafia guys, huh?
Yeah, you got
the
it.
Hummer guys?
Absolutely,
That's
we
what
are the Hummer guys.
Man, I love these H1s, man. Every American needs one of these, right?
Yeah.
Absolutely. They're like nothing else. This started as a 2001 Hummer H1 wagon, so the full top civilian.
Oh, it had.
Yep. We stripped the wagon roof off, full interior AC seats, rear, all that stuff, and we're down 2,200 pounds, so 6,200 pounds right now.
The Mod Mafia guys, they got a cool custom shop as far as just H1 enthusiasts. They sell their parts and pieces all over the world. They are very, very well known with a great reputation. You guys are the H1 guys. What do you need from me?
We need help getting a cage built, roll cage. Metalwork, that's what y'all do. We're going to be using this as a trail truck our time back too. We want to make it rad, make it safe, and safety and roll cages is not quite in our wheelhouse. We need your help to do that.
Yeah, you're not taking this on some crazy trails. You flip this sucker over, you're going to die, right?
Yeah, it'd be real bad with what it's got sitting there right now.
Definitely. So, trail truck, you're not going to make it pretty shiny.
No, we got other trucks for that.
This one is meant to go see some pain. It's meant to be beat up and scratched, so it's meant to be like this, but we're wanting you to put some design in it and kind of zazz it up because that's what's going to be the showcase of this truck.
Absolutely.
It's not going to be the restoration of it.
And just a cage for
the front
or all the way back to the back?
The front.
I think it's important just to kind of put some of the cage where it's protecting the body so we don't just absolutely crush it in.
Something out here in case you do rub against a tree or...
This is aluminum.
Yeah.
It's very malleable. It's going to crush.
Right. So coming around, coming down, tying into here, bolt to the body, tying into the frame, but you also want it to protect the side as well.
The rear fender. Yep.
It's going to be real cool.
We want to do one more thing.
What's that?
We want to have a mount on the top for a machine gun.
Oh, most definitely.
Not is this only going to be a trail truck, we're going to have some fun in it too.
Man, that makes my day.
What's going to be cooler than an extensive roll cage, a trail truck mount on top? I can't think of anything.
So, you're wanting the cage to protect the two drivers.
Yep.
Come all the way back to the back. Protect the out part of the body. And to be able to shoot from the top also.
Oh, yeah.
And I get to shoot it, right?
Oh, yeah. You're going to
We'll
get to shoot
see. Of course.
Well, man, let's go make it official.
Cool. All right. Yeah, let's do it.
I love coming to work every day. It's always something different. One day we're bolting on chrome, polishing paint. Next day we get to work on something rough and rugged, just like this H1. That's what I like about projects like this. You just get in, get to work, build some cool stuff, and go have fun with it. It doesn't matter about fit and finish or your color. It matters how tough how just mean it looks, and the whole overall flow of the project with a whole lot of safety built in. You know, this truck's going to be going where most trucks will never, ever go. And when it comes time to that day that this truck might be upside down on its roof, you got to make sure it's going to be safe. Man, I love projects like this that you don't have to worry about how gentle you shut a door. You don't have to worry about where you park. There's no stress. It's a stress reliever.
Why do we have a camo Hummer in the parking lot? Do you sell your side-by-side?
I'd really like to have one of these, but that's not what we're talking about today. But you know, the Mod Mafia guys, this is theirs. You know, they go to competitions all over the country, you know, going through ravines, trails, whatever it is. They're going to use this as their chase truck, and they want it really safe. So there's not going to be a roof or anything on it. So we're going to build a custom cage to cover all this.
I understand why they want a little bit of safety, man. Them guys go through some crazy stuff. They do some big terrains. They really push them Hummers. So you're building just another cage from here to here, just going all the way.
You know, we don't want it to go all the way back and down. He wants it more of a two-seater style cage, and then come down and, you know, something that's going to protect the sides. The thing we got to really get creative with is attaching it to the frame itself. On the H1, the frame's inboard, so this is the frame rails right here. So there's not much at all as far as strength on the outer points of this. So if it does flip over, just that, you know, connecting to the outer points ain't really going to do it.
You want it to look cool, like it's meant for this vehicle, but we want it to be super strong.
That's it. And we got a little bonus on this. We're going to put a swivel gun mount up here.
Like a real mount a gun up there and go fire?
Yeah. So I told him, man, I don't have a problem doing that for you. It's going to be real, real cool.
All right, well, let me find out what bay we can put it in. We can get started on that. Let's get going.
Let's do it, man. Before we can design the roll cage, we need a much stronger foundation to build upon. So I'm having Tim bend some new pans to cover the body of the top of the truck.
Right now, this is just aluminum. There's really no strength. This whole thing just moves. So we're making a whole cover for this. I will make a template out of this chipboard that's going to cover all this. We're basically going to make a plate break down the sides and also come and break this way and in the front. So next we're going to bend this chipboard on the brake. I know it looks a little crazy, but what it's going to do, it's going to put me a crease all the way down it that I know where this needs to bend, where the ends need to bend. I can place it over the top of the truck. When this fits perfect, I'll give it to Jesse and he can burn me two of them out. You know, this is one of the reasons that I like doing the template first is I can come in and make some little adjustments here like on this corner, how the tailgate indents in right here. I know I need to cut this out, but it's easier to do it on this template, and then when he burns it out over there, I can put everything up here. It's 100%.
Some of my favorite builds have been just like this 2001 H1. It's just a great truck to build off of. Once Timmy finishes reinforcing the back end, we're going to make a roll cage that fits this thing perfectly.
We're going to line up our mark here and here. We'll put this in the brake. We'll put it on 90 degrees. Bend that corner, we'll flip it. Do this corner, we'll take it to the truck. We got rid of all the holes, the indentions, the lines, the rivets, everything, and it just cosmetically looks better. But it's going to make the whole truck come together as one piece. How's it look down there, Jamie?
Man, it's perfect. You did a good job. I mean, bends on point. It's nice and solid, man. It's way better than what we had before.
Yeah.
Okay, so now we know everything fits. We'll go ahead and start welding the corners together. First time I ever seen a Hummer was actually on a train car. I mean, you know, just driving on the highway. We're taking a family vacation, and, you know, all of a sudden I see all these Humvees on this train car. Like, wow, man, those things are crazy. So getting to work on one, you know, and make it better. I mean, it just doesn't get no better than these things. These things are bulletproof. I mean, mud, you can climb a tree with one of these things.
The body of this thing's aluminum. So we're using a steel, so you can't weld the two together. So what we have to do now, drill the bolt holes in it. They'll be bolted from the back, from the front, from the outside, and the inside. So it'll be 100% stronger, and then we're ready for the cage. And if anything ever did happen, they need to access something, they can unbolt this and see what's going on. All right, now we got that where we want it. I'm gonna go ahead and lay out the inside. I'll go ahead
ahead and drill those, bolt those, and we'll continue the process to the outside and the front.
What's she doing? Come see old dad. Yeah. Go see. It's probably gonna cost me money. Guarantee it. What you doing, girl?
I just want to come down. Hi.
Hi. You just want to come see me today?
Yeah. I mean, I was.
Come on now. What'd you do to your car?
Nothing. I haven't done anything to it.
It's always good when your kids show up to work, but you know, when it's a surprise, you got that little apprehension of what are they here for? What do they want? How much is this going to cost me?
I mean, I love this car, and it rides so high. You know, like I've gotten made fun of for that. And the wheels. I mean, just the wheels, like, there's not anything special about them.
Oh, poor little 17-year-old got a brand new car.
I know. It's just, I don't know. You see, like, my mom's car, you know, like, you know, hers is cool. And, like, you always say, like, you know, you can't have her riding around with, like, you know, a really stock car. I don't know. I want to have a cool car, too, just like everyone else.
I can definitely understand the age she is. You know, 17 years old, your personality is wanting to come out. And that's just one more form of your personality come out is customizing your car. So, is this your way of shaking me down for some wheels and tires and lowering your car? Is that what you're doing?
Kinda. I'd want to, yeah.
It's not your birthday.
I know, but just like, I don't know, I've been wanting to do it for a while, you know? I've had this car for like about a year and a half. It's my first car. You know, it was a cool car to begin with, but I mean, like, once I had it longer, I just wanted to do stuff to it just to make it that much better. I don't know, I just want to do something to it,
you know what? That makes me real proud that you want to have a
I want to represent what you do, too. Yeah, with my car. You know?
Most 17-year-old girls could care less with.
Exactly. I want to do stuff to my car. I want to make it look, I want to make it stand out and be something different.
And what'd you name her?
Caroline.
Yeah. Wheels and tires. Probably like a 22, like a blacked out 22 on here.
Yeah.
I know you like to have it all blacked out, right?
Mm-hmm.
And if you put that on it, it's got to be lower, right?
Yeah.
Probably change the grill out too, man. Something cool, you know, in the front also, right?
Yeah. That'll look great.
You know, your first paycheck went to the air intake.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you got the cool exhaust on it already.
Mm-hmm.
You already got the louvers on the back. So, yeah. You know what? I definitely want you to have a cool car, too. You know, I'll make a deal with you.
Okay.
The stipulation is that you're going to work on it with me.
Okay.
So you're going to get your butt in the shop, get dirty, and get after it. So if I say, hey, hand me that tool, right here. I got it. Hold on. I'm texting somebody.
Okay. So if I do help you, then we will put them on there? Like, actually? Okay. That'd be cool.
That sound good?
Yeah.
Is that a deal?
Yeah.
All right. Let's go pick out some wheels.
Okay.
Tell you what, you talk about a proud dad, that's this guy right here. You know, my kids having especially my daughter, that makes me very, very proud, and it's like the coolest thing ever. She got her first job working at a restaurant. She got her first paycheck, and she came up to the shop and ordered an air intake. So the enthusiasm is there. She wants to fix it up. She wants to look cool when she's riding down the road, and we're going to get her hooked up. You know, it's pretty cool to say she's a chip off the old block, you know. She wants to roll up, and people know she's there. And it's really cool when you do roll up, somebody says, hey, where'd you get that done? She gets to say, you know, I did it. You know, be able to bond with my daughter, teach her some stuff, let her get dirty, learn some things. It's a win-win for both of us. You ready?
Yeah.
I'm excited too. You've been really taking care of this. You've been doing good in school. I'm proud of you. So, first things first, we'll get it on the lift, get it jacked up. Really, the main important thing is when you're putting the car on the lift, is finding the right points when the whole weight of the vehicle is on it. You just don't want to put it underneath there and pick it up.
Yeah.
You got to find the proper pickup points on it. If not, you'll crush the floor, crush fuel lines, electrical lines. There's all that stuff hanging underneath the car. So it's important to find that one. Good.
I really want this car to look good, so I don't really sturdy and working on it, you know? I'm excited for what it'll look like later.
All right, you get that one?
Yeah. Bam, nice touch. So we're gonna take the nut off of the coilovers and then put the new springs on. It is really cool to have a dad who knows so much about cars. I feel like I didn't even used to like cars until I got my car. If I didn't have a dad who did this stuff, I would be trying to save like so much money to try and do this stuff, and I probably wouldn't even try. But having a dad who does it, it's really cool. I'm really lucky, you know?
So you got the top loose already? So the only thing we have to do now, there's a little bracket for the sway bar here.
Okay.
We'll take that loose.
Okay.
You can take the whole spring out, and then we'll replace it. So right off this.
Okay.
So right now, grab a socket. It fits on the sway bar bracket. And while you're doing that, go ahead and find the one for the bottom also.
Okay. The first thing that I've done to my car, the intake, I've worked on with my dad a little bit. I tried to put it together by myself, but I didn't really know what I was doing. And then he's helped me spray paint the taillights, and then we've worked on the exhaust for it too. And this is by far, though, like the most hands-on I've the tighter coils at the front.
We got the coilovers out, old springs off of the 2020 Challenger. Now Presley and I are installing the new springs. They're going to get her car a little bit lower. Way down.
They look awesome. I love that they're red because it sticks out way better than like how it was black.
There we go.
Yeah.
So before we put the wheels and tires on, there's one more thing we got to do. Put that grill in. I know you want to see that too.
Yeah. You have to wait all the way till the end to see the wheels.
Yeah. It's like the cherry on top. It just rushed right into that.
I guess. Okay. Well, let's get it done.
Well, let's do it. You ready to do that?
Yeah.
Let's tackle it. You know, it makes me real proud to have her in the shop working, you know, getting her hands dirty, being appreciative for what we're doing and learning in the process. So, really good day for Dad. Come on with it. Keep going. All right, stop. All right, bottom. All right. What you think?
It looks amazing.
All blacked out.
Yeah.
It just looks mean coming at you.
It looks mean. Oh my gosh, it looks awesome.
Wheel surprise for you. Come on, bring it on in, man. Check them out.
Oh my god.
The 22s.
Those are awesome.
The TIS 22s.
Yeah.
Those are brand new.
Oh my god.
Those are cool.
Those are so cool.
You want to put them up?
Yeah.
See what it looks like with it on there?
Yeah.
Well, let's do it.
It looks awesome. It looks way better than how it did before.
I'm jealous. I'm
jealous too, and it's my car.
Thank you for your help. You did a great job today.
Yeah.
You know, this buggy's really been keeping me up at night. You know, a project like this to somebody who creates, fabricates, welds, there isn't a more exciting project than this. You know, we built a bunch of frames here at Extensive, but never an all-two chassis before. You know, I got the wheelbase established on what I think is going to be a good proportion for the buggy. The whole inspiration for this is these 58-inch tall tires. I mean, just seeing these tires, I got excited. I want something to put them on. We're finding some military axles. Then from the military axles to the big diesel engine, you know, 1,500 horsepower. You know, every part that's added to this, it just adds to the excitement the whole way. You know, it's like an art project you actually get to drive and you have a whole lot of fun with. We're going to build everything 100% chromoly on this, so it's super light, super strong, so I can put myself, my family in it, and not have to worry about anything. You know, I ain't gonna lie, you get a little nervous of, you know, how big of a project something like this is. You know, you want it as big as possible, but it's still got to be somewhat practical to be able to transport and fit in the garage, and you just can't build it just totally massive. I want an off-road buggy, but I want something that has some style and has that sporty look, and I definitely want that sporty performance. Where better to take my hopes and dreams for a buggy and Race Source. These guys design monster trucks.
What's up?
What's up, man?
Not a whole lot, man. How you been?
Man, real good, real good. You hard at it?
I'm hard at it every day.
No, that's right.
I'm a former monster truck driver. I actually campaigned one of the Gravedigger trucks for 26 years. It's for the racing industry. So now that I retired from driving, I'm full-time here in the shop where I manufacture purpose-built components for the monster truck industry. I build tube chassis, and I get to continue living my dream, doing something I love to do every day.
That's what I'm talking about right there. Not a monster truck, but this is what I need your help with. They're all notched perfectly.
That's what's so nice about designing a chassis in SolidWorks. You just draw it, you put the weld reliefs in, do all that.
Right.
And we send it out, and we have it CNC cut.
No waste.
No waste, very little waste. Everything fits up perfect. The biggest difference between hand building a truck and hand mitering and hand fitting all this is all the fittments. You can create some pretty intricate joints of tubing and different connections that would be just an absolute nightmare to hand notch and hand fit. By doing it in 3D, we're able to let our imagination run wild and build exactly what we want.
I see the advantage of that, and that's why I need your help, man, to make my drawings a reality.
Absolutely. Perfect.
The wheels and tires are 58 inches.
Wow. So that's monster truck size, so that's awesome.
Yeah, about 30 inches off the ground and about 6 foot from, top to bottom. I still want that.
Like it's going 100 mile an hour sitting still kind of
look. That's what I'm looking for.
Sway bars front and rear?
Man, for sure, because I'm going to drive it.
I've seen some of your other projects and how you drive them, so yeah, I'll keep that in mind.
Right.
Well, if you've got everything at your shop, what I need to do is send some guys over there with a 3D scanner. When we're done, we should be able to kind of see what we're going to be working with.
Man, I'm excited, man.
I can't wait to get started on this project. Get done with yours, I might need to build me one.
Yeah, there you go. So Pablo needs some parts scanned for the buggy. So we got the axles on horses. We got the transmission bolted up to the engine. It's in place, so it's ready for the scanner.
How you doing, sir?
Hey, man, Bill.
Andrew, nice to meet you.
Man, badass. I'm really excited to see how you do this. This is exactly what we need right here. Is the positioning good for you? You're all set with what's here?
Everything looks good to me.
Cool, man. I'm going to let you get to it, man. Thank you for coming, man. And I'm excited to check it out once you're done. Holler if you need something.
Will do. So this is our ASUP scanning spray. We're going to spray all the parts down for the scanner to pick up. This is going to brighten it up or dull it out, so our scanner can pick up all the detail in here and make sure we can pick up all the bolt holes, because that is super important. So next we're going to put our positioning targets on. They should just be done at random. There has to be 4 positioning targets within a 15-inch box. These positioning targets are for when we're scanning. If we see that, maybe we missed the section over here, we want to rescan that, and then it's going to know exactly where it's scanning again because of the pattern of these positioning targets. So this is our Peel 2 3D scanner. This is basically going to take thousands of pictures and stitch them together into a 3D mesh file that we will then turn into a CAD file.
Now that we scan the engine, axles, and wheels, Pablo can get to it, designing that chassis.
Okay, so now what we're doing is we're taking the scan data that came in, and we're going to turn this into SolidWorks files and solid parts. Now that I have my wheelbase, my setback for my engine from the center line of my front axle, we can really start nailing this thing down. So next step on this would be to put seats in it so that we can see where the driver's going to sit. Got to get the family in there. One of the neat things about this tube chassis build is that you don't have to have a lot of mass and a lot of members to get a lot of strength out of it. I'm able to keep it fairly lightweight, yet extremely rigid and very safe, and in the case of a rollover. This thing has got a really aggressive looking stance, man. This thing is going to look awesome coming down the road towards you. Well, I've almost got this full chassis design done. I'm pretty confident. Most all our dimensions are all right. Our clearances are right. So I've got a few more little tweaks in here. I'm going to add a couple more bars. But then we'll extract each one of these tubes individually. And we'll put this thing on a pallet and ship it over to Bill and let them guys start putting it together.
If you like off-roading like I do, things can get sideways real quick. Literally. The roll cage for the 2001 Hummer has to look cool, of course.
Just joking.
But more than anything, it's got to be bulletproof. You know, this is our long enough to do this here, so I'm checking, double checking, and rechecking to make sure everything's 100% right. There's a windshield wiper motor right in our path for the cage.
So center to the outside, we need 6 inches per side.
And how far out?
3's tight.
They'll give it 4 inches. You know, what we got going on is a little obstacle, a little bump in the road. If we make our cage perfect to this drawing and then go back and bend around that, it's going to shrink our cage in. So we're figuring out how far it's got to bump out. See, we need to go right there.
6.5, 6.5.
To figure out how much length we need to add in between the 2 outside bends. So when we do bend it, it's going to shrink back down to the perfect width. So we're about to see how good we are. Okay, we know it's 24 inches. We line this up on the edge, on the outer part of our measurements here. So we know 12 inches from there is what we need.
12 from there is where we need to put center of that bend. Yeah, there's a couple of easier options. We could have done this. Could have made it in 2 pieces. Could have made it in 3. I enjoy this kind of stuff because it's more thinking. And me having a construction background, you always had to take blueprints the same way, but the blueprint's all in your head or you're laying it on a table. It's not computer generated. It's something you just lay out with some lines. Throw that back toward you. All right. Yep. You know, there's a lot of companies that have these big scanners and have this that everything's already pre-made on the computer. Well, here we got to do it by hand. Not to say it'd be a better product, but it's a lot more self-satisfying to me knowing that we took a straight piece of pipe and bent it all in one piece.
Man, that's a real good start. I mean, this is the hard part.
All that work just for that one wiper motor.
Yeah. We'll get the body trimmed out here so we can get it even closer, and we'll start building all the way back from there. I love it. When stuff starts coming together. Me and Timmy got the flow going. I like how that kind of leans in right there. Looks good. Once it's flowing, all the creative juices start coming together and it starts to become reality, which really gets exciting. You know, now we got the outer part of the structure done. The cage is looking really good. You know, the next step is building all the inner structure where it really makes it strong, rigid, and adds a lot of style to it. You know, it's really starting to take shape. You know, the main structure is all set in place. Really strong is adding all the bracing everywhere, the X bracing, and part that really makes the attitude come alive. You know, it's already safe, but we're going to make it really cool and really aggressive and just look mean. Experience, things are always more satisfying when you work hard for them. You know, after everything my daughter Presley's done to her 2020 Challenger, today's the day she gets to feel that satisfaction, and better yet, share it with her good friend.
Thank you for driving me. Cool, so where's the car? I think my dad said he's gonna bring it out in a second. Look at that! That's so awesome! Oh my god, it's really good! Oh my god! Oh, look at that! That looks so different. So cool. I love it. Oh my god. I love it too. It looks amazing. It's so cool. Y'all did a good job. Even though that I worked on the car and everything like that, like seeing you know, like burn it out and everything and just drive it looks amazing. It's so cool. It's like crazy.
Tell you what, I've been working your friends that are all dirty, that are working. Did you have fun doing it?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah?
So, you know, like, I didn't like the little, like, chrome accents in the front, so I think, you know, we had to take those and go get them, like, spray painted, and then we got a new grill. It looks way meaner now. I mean, like, I don't know, it changed, like, the whole view of the car, you know?
Looks really good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It looks way faster, right?
Right.
We changed out the wheels and the tires. They're 22x8s, 22x9s, you know, 315s on the back instead of, like, you know, the steelies.
What, you know, she had to have, you know.
I feel like that makes the car, you know?
She kind of guilted me into hooking her car before.
You wanted to do it.
You know, I don't know, it's embarrassing to have your kid ride around on something like, you know, on steelies. Look like a cop.
See what I'm talking about?
We got some caliper covers, and, like, you know, it was really simple. I could do it myself. You know, it was something that was nice to be able to do on my own without any help. You know, so it had like 4 or 5 inches of clearance, you know, like between like the fender and the tires. So, like, we wanted to get rid of those old springs and put in new lowering springs. They're red too. They look way better. Right. And then that's lowered a bunch. I think it has like 2 inches or like 1.5 inches of clearance now, you know, and I got to learn how to use like the impact and the pro drivers. It was really cool.
Wow, so you really got in there and did hands-on work. That sounds fun. You got in there and took the springs off yourself.
Yeah, I mean, like, what the yeah.
Of course, anybody that you tell that story to, that you came to the shop, you took tools out of the toolbox, you got your hands dirty, you used the tools, I mean, he's going to be impressed. I seen Maddie was impressed right off the bat, so.
And, you know, I picked on Maddie the day that I got the car and everything, and she's seen it from whenever I first got it, and just, you know, her being able to see everything we've done to it, you know, just makes it even cooler.
It does, right?
Yeah, to share the experience of it. It's really cool.
I'm proud of you. That makes me proud.
Thank you.
I guess I'm doing something right.
Thank you.
You girls are going to stay out of trouble tonight, right?
Yeah, sir.
Promise?
We will.
Yes.
All right.
All right.
All right. See y'all later.
See y'all.
We finished welding out the roll cage on the 2001 Hummer. Now to get to the customer's other request, the gun mount. Man, this is one of the things that's going to make this cage really unique, is having that swivel gun mount on the top. It's really going to finish it off. It's really going to look mean. Got it feeling good in here, man.
Yeah, it's a little warm.
You know, we're building the cage for the H1 over there.
Yes.
So I need a base burnout for it. And what I want to do, just leave an inch up here.
1 inch.
Yeah, and I'm going to bend it up at a 90.
All right. You never know, door panel out, or a fender, or a gun mount. Keeps it interesting. All right, now that I got it cut it out, I'm gonna double check my measurements and get it cleaned up, knock off all the slag, bend it for Bill, and just walk it over there.
Always come through for me, man.
So now I have it all tacked in place. I'll put the gun mount up here on top. Instead of trying to lay all this out, the easiest way to do it was just to lay this up here, get it centered where we want it, and use this as a jig. And now we have all the holes drilled right where they go. We're gonna come back and put these sleeves in the cage. So in doing this, we use the flat part of this plate and the flat part of the DOM. So when I tighten that up, you know it's straight and you know it's solid. All right, now we have the holes drilled out. I'll put the gun mount back up here. Let the bottom hang out a little bit so the nut will tighten up flat. It's not trying to crush the cage. And then that'll make it super strong if it's all welded together and make it really, really strong. We'll weld out the top. Now the cage is solid and the gun mount's finished.
Man, it looks real good, man. I'm really impressed how everything come together. Last thing, just weld everything out. See how she shoots.
If you're ever going to build a monster truck, you got to drive it, because that's the ultimate thrill at the end of the mission, is to get behind the wheel of something you created and take it out there and just thrash on it. So I feel like I've come a long ways from when I first started back in the early 80s. It was sketch some things out on the floor. Pretty much just tape measure, plumb bobs, chalk lines on the ground. I took a lot of what I learned back in the early days of doing all this work manually and embraced using computers to design chassis. It's been a game changer for me. I design a chassis from the very first stick of tube, or the very first sketch line on the screen, and when I'm finished, I have a perfect rendering of the finished product. All of those tools that are available to us today, and we can just create a masterpiece out of metal.
The roll cage for the 2001 Hummer is back from powder coat.
And now it's just a process of putting the puzzle together. We're going to put all the top pieces on, put the door caps on. Then it's time for the finale, putting the big cage in here. It's going to change the whole look.
You know, I've customized a bunch of Hummers over the years. It's something I really like working on. You know, just by building a custom roll cage on this one, it's totally changed the whole look. What better place to give it back to the Mod Mafia guys?
What's up, fellas? How you doing, Bill?
Than a shooting range. You guys are the Hummer guys. It's pretty cool to have you bring in a Hummer for us to get down on. It needed to be able to go wherever and keep you guys safe no matter what.
Looks good. Absolutely.
It looks real cool, man. Can we go check it out?
Let's go check it out. Man. All right. Oh, man, look at that. There it is. Man.
It's a little surprise up there.
Yeah, you took those design cues into full effect. But the cage really stands out. Yeah, it looks sick, man.
Man, I've been around a lot of Hummers. I've never seen a cage like that.
Well, that's what you wanted, right?
Exactly.
Something unique, and not only that, looks cool, keep you safe.
Yeah, most importantly.
And that is not going anywhere.
No, I think we can roll that one over, and it's going to be perfectly fine.
It just came in, there was just no safety features whatsoever.
Right.
The first thing we did is made the pans for the back. We decided to clean it up and protect the side also, because it's just, just started bending pipe. There's a ton of pipe bending. All those little tweaks and bends not only add the strength, to add that style too, and it all ties to the frame itself. So if there ever is a rollover, all that inertia is transferred down into the frame. If there ever was an accident, we know these guys are 100% secure.
You got those two bars that go around the center windshield pillar.
Oh yeah, and that's super all in one piece.
Man,
yeah, that's a lot of work to come up with those bends in the right spot at the right angle, and just to clear everything. Thank God it worked out.
You flexing some talent on that.
We love when guys like you bring us projects like this to let us put our spin on it.
Doing your art.
Yeah, that's it.
I had no idea what Bill was going to put together here, and the design really nailed it.
It's exactly what we wanted. Actually exceeded our expectations. We were just blown away with the final product.
Not only, you wanted it safe, you wanted it to look good, you wanted a little special request for the top of it, right?
We see you incorporated that in there really well.
Extracurricular activities.
Absolutely. Military truck, you got to have that military mount. We looked around, found an old military swivel mount for an H1. Whatever you want to put up there is totally interchangeable.
Awesome.
If you guys don't mind, I'd like to have first honors and maybe firing a couple rounds off the top of this.
I'm excited to see it.
Once again, I can't thank my team enough. I love the style of the cage. I mean, it flows, everything looks good, and that little cherry on top was that swivel gun mount. This is exactly what this H1 needed. I scared the pineapple. Mark, Josh, I hope you guys had a lot of fun with this. I know I had a lot of fun today. H1, extensive full roll cage, automatic machine gun. Woo! That's very, very, very exhilarating.
Man, that was awesome!
Dude, that was good stuff, man. Thank you guys.
Thank you.
That was a lot of fun.
Pablo just finished the rendering of the buggy. This is something I'm really getting excited about. I love the proportions. That's a great start. All the notching and everything goes in this. I'm really interested to see if that really is going to fit the way they say. I mean, the buggy is most definitely a challenge. I've never built anything like this. Never built anything just out of thin air before. And that's just one project. We have the Willys Jeep. It's not just making it wider. It's building the frame, building the suspension, building every single part and piece. An exciting project, but with that exciting project comes a huge workload, because there's nowhere in those projects you can take shortcuts. Once these larger projects like this start rolling out the door crazy high, it's gonna command attention.
A work truck bed on top of a big lift like this,
wait till you see all the speakers that's gonna go in that bed. This thing is gonna be loud. It's always cool to work on your own project. There's no limitations, it's on you. Come on out with it. This is gonna be the king around here. I'm Bill Carl.
built my first truck when I was 16. And ever since, me and my guys have been out here creating with our hands. Building the biggest, lowest, baddest custom trucks and cars in the game. People don't come here for what they need. They come here for what they want. This is Texas Metal.
You know, back in 2011, we took a Suburban, cut that thing in half, and made it a two-door Tahoe. You know, back when this was built, this was a shocker for the world. 8 years later, you can still take this thing to just a prime example of something I wanted myself to have a business card for Extensive and really set its mark in the custom world. You know, every year I try to top myself to really build something really cool over the top, and we're definitely not done doing that.
Ooh. Pulling out of retirement?
Uh-huh. Got a guy won this thing, so we're going to meet him at a local little car show up in Tyler, where I'm going to hand over the keys, man.
Wait, like it's leaving?
It's leaving.
Oh, man.
It's still going to continue to go to car shows. It'll just be kind of like a foster home for it.
Okay, cool.
Time to move on, right?
Yeah.
It's time for something new. You know, it's time for this to go. We're going to load it up, take it to a local car show. This turbine is going to start its new life with its new owner. I hate selling this thing, but it's going to fund the new over-the-top project. We're out at Turkey Drag Car Show. You know, it's always good to get out of the shop, come see what's going on, see some cool cars. Today's kind of bittersweet, though. Part of the family's leaving, but, you know, it's always nice to get that little check also. Man,
all right.
You made it?
Yes, sir.
What do you think, finally getting to see this thing in person?
I've been looking for this truck for 8 years.
Yeah.
It's amazing. This truck is super cool, man. Something like nobody else has. That's exactly what I want. One day, a friend of mine, he called me. He says, hey, they got it for sale. So I made the call. We pulled the trigger, and we're here.
What's your favorite thing about this?
I like the way you did it. When we shorten it, make it two-door. That's the only one on the earth. I gotta have it, bro.
It's really cool. Antonio's been following this car, you know, for 8.5 years, and he's finally seeing it in person.
Oh, man. That's what I'm talking about, man.
You know, it's the factory 5.3 in this thing, but it's just all cleaned up. It doesn't look like that factory engine anymore, right?
No, it don't look like it no more, man. You can see from every angle, you can see everything, something different.
If you like this, you're definitely going to like the interior.
I think it's crazy, man. You got speakers everywhere, man.
3 big 12s in the back. You see the big hole in the roof. That's out of a Cadillac SRX. You can't buy one that big. Cut that out of another roof and then graft it into this one.
I think it's my right size, man. Yeah.
You know, when Antonio's sat in this seat, I can tell he's been wanting to do that for a long time.
Man, look at that.
Man, it's got a ton of power back here, right?
Man, I would like to
put home and somebody that really appreciates this. Enjoy it, man. Need something, holler. Looking at this thing for the last time, we've done a good job on it. I can't thank all my guys enough for all the late nights and hard work, because as you can see in the car show here, it's still holding its weight. You know, I've gone to shows East Coast to West Coast, almost every state. You see a bunch of lower trucks, lifted trucks, people trying to creep up on us. You know, we can't be having that. That just makes me want to build just something over the top, just lifted super high. If you're going to build a lifted truck, you want something totally different that nobody's seen before. This is the truck to get. I've got a 2020 Chevrolet medium duty that is just going to be insane. The medium duty trucks are in between a 1-ton and an 18-wheeler, so just putting it way up in the air is definitely something you don't see ever. It's gonna command attention no matter where it goes. This is gonna be the king around here. Is the truck brand new? Yes. Are we gonna pull it in the shop and tear it totally apart and start over? Absolutely.
company's gotta love you. What is this, test drive or what?
Well, yeah, test drove it. It's my new project.
Oh, Lord.
You always got to have it bigger, fatter, right? Just the natural progression. Taking a medium duty, putting our spin on it, our style to it, it's just going to put us over the top again.
I'm scared to see what you're going to come up with next after this one's that high. But I got you a bay open. Let's go ahead and pull it in there and we'll get it racked up.
So you got me a spot?
Got you a spot.
Let's do it. You know, always before starting a project like this, you always get a little anxious. Just, you can't really wait to get started working on this. I mean, it's still, a passion for all of us. It's the anticipation of getting the thing done, getting it out of the road, and just having a good time with it. It doesn't get any better than that. Most of the time you start to create the canvas and then add to that also. So the finished product is just going to be something that's going to blow everybody away. I love being able to prove myself, to prove my team to everybody. Building a lifted truck, that's fun for me. But building a super huge dually truck that's going to end up being, over 12,000 pounds when we're done, super high off the ground, that's just something I got to have in my life. What you think about this, James?
Man, that's brand new. I ain't seen one of these yet.
Right? Man, I got some big plans for this. First things first, we're going to get this thing up on the lift, and then we're just going to build a crazy drop-down air suspension with the big shocks. Huge 4-link on this thing with the big 1-inch Heims, super thick DOM. I mean, this thing's going to be bulletproof. And I got to have some big wheels and tires on this thing. Definitely. I want to keep that dually in the back, too. Raising this thing up, we're not shooting for a specific amount of inches. I want this thing way off the ground. We're just going to lift this thing till it looks right. When it looks right, we'll go a little bit higher. Because this thing's going to be crazy high. Look at the steps on this. This definitely isn't going to cut it. So we're going to build some custom run, crawl up in this big old thing. And as far as the bed, I want to do like a utility style bed with the toolboxes and all that.
A work truck bed on top of a big lift like this with the air suspension?
Yeah, you don't ever see anything like that.
I've never seen nothing like that.
Wait till you see all the speakers and all the stereo that's going to go in that bed.
Oh, man.
We got to have it loud. It's got to be loud. They go by, you're like, man, what? Why? I want that feel of industrialism. Right. You know what I mean?
This front end's a little bit too shiny for you.
Man, we got to get rid of all that. Spray it all black, get rid of the chrome, make this thing cool. We're going to have to step it up in the interior, too. Yeah. Leather inside, suede headliner. And this thing doesn't even come with carpet. Of course, we're going to put that in it, too. We're going to make the inside just plush as can be.
I'm excited. I can't wait.
If you can't wait, let's do it.
Let's do it. I'm ready.
This thing is almost 6 tons stock. Because this thing is so big, we're going to take a few extra precautions. And Jamie's going to weld some extensions directly to the lift so we can pick this thing up safely.
Oh, that's nice. This truck was barely stocked for maybe a couple days, and it's already up on the lift. All right, so go ahead and separate the axles from the leaf springs. Go ahead and lift up the frame, then go ahead and pull the leaf springs.
We're going to be taking this thing to car shows all over, but it's not just about the trophy. This thing is going to be able to get to work too. So Rudy's going to start burning the hangers and brackets with all 5/16 plate.
Being that this is typically just used for work and never lifted, we had to build some extra heavy-duty hangers to support the whole weight of this work truck. If these things aren't strong enough, then our whole 4-link system will just collapse and be worthless.
The next step we're doing this huge lift, huge super heavy lift, is building the 4-link brackets on the rear end. Rudy cut some 5/16 plate. This allows the 4-link to mount from the truck to the rear end and everything pivot. I mean, this was where all the stopping, starting, pulling power is all transferred into these pivot points here. Especially as high as this thing's going to be, all the weight is compounded. So this thing has to be really, really strong. This is a major point of the whole suspension.
5,500 over a foot in the air. You know, the forward link has to be not only super strong and support all the weight that's going to be way up in the air. You know, it's got to look cool too. You know, one of the things that makes this thing super strong is the 1-inch FK Heims are really, really strong. So I'm going to use that in conjunction to some really thick DOM, and that's going to make it so we never have to worry about that whatsoever.
Hold the money.
All right, got my Heims bolted up, all exactly the same. So we're gonna go ahead and bolt this up to the truck and continue with our 4-link. Now we got our 4-link bolted up. These things look beefy. So we can go ahead and start setting up our diagonal link. A diagonal link in a wishbone is always going to keep your rear end completely centered through all of its range of travel. This sucker right here is going to make sure that the whole rear end is nice and straight as it travels up and down. I only wish I could say the same thing about my back right now.
This thing comes with power steering, but to save a little space, we're going to convert everything into all hydraulic steering.
So this big steering gearbox is going to have to go. We're going to get rid of this one and install a new hydraulic steering system. All right, so you can see our old gearbox is a whole lot bigger than our new one. In this case, looks can be deceiving. This small little guy here is going to do just as much as our big one here. This right here is basically our servo. All it does is transfer all the hydraulic fluid down to our hydraulic pump, which is going to be placed on the axle somewhere. Went ahead and made a brand new mount for our hood strut. That way we don't lose the support for our hood. All right, we got our servo bolted up, linked up to our steering shaft. Everything looks good. And then the fun part, figuring out where that goes.
What we're doing now is mounting the hydraulic cylinder to the axle. We got a rolled piece of pipe that we had laying around the shop, so we're going to make 3 separate pipes to hold the hydraulic cylinder for the steering to mount it right to the axle. I mean, we could use a straight piece of pipe, but it looked way cooler to have a little style to it and use the rolled pipe and be super strong also. The cylinder where we want, we got the roll tubing connecting the axle to the mount. It looks good. It's super strong and stylish for sure.
Alright, now that we got our hydraulic cylinder mounted and welded up, we're going to go ahead and make 2 rods, one for each side, to connect from the cylinder to our spindle. That way when our cylinder starts pushing those rods out left and right, our truck will go left or right. So just to make sure that our new tie rod ends are exactly the same, we're going to go ahead and jig up the first one I just welded up. That way my second one will bolt up just exactly like the first one. We got our first new tie rod made. Go ahead and duplicate it and make another one. Tie rods are in, as you can see. As our cylinder pushes in and out, it's going to steer our truck left and right.
We're going to start building the air suspension, and straight pipe is never a good idea. We want something with a little style. So Max is about to get out and get to it of rolling a lot of pipe and tubing for my truck to build the bag mounts, shock mounts, and just make it look cool. We're going to do things a little different this time. Instead of putting the lower bag mounts in place and then building down to the axle, I think what we'll do is take the lower bag mount off and build it on the table.
That way I don't have to keep crawling under here and throwing my back out every time I get in here.
Right. I got that. We can just simulate the axle with a piece of pipe on the table and build our pipe all to that. So we're going to make all of our pieces fit in a little square here.
You got it?
I know you do.
Main thing here is just trying to make everything
everything looks symmetrical. It's kind of different not doing it on the truck, but our simulated axle, everything's gonna fit right on there. Like if it was on the truck, it's gonna save my back and my knees and lots of time. All right, we got all these welded up. Now we go slap these on the truck.
Heck yeah, Rudy. That's gonna work good. Let's get the other side on, and then we'll put our straight edge across here and clamp it. And that'll, instead of trying to spend the time to level everything, you know it's 100% perfect. Weld that sucker out, and then we'll move to the uppers.
Hey, that's a great idea.
Oh, thank you, buddy.
That is what we like to call a wrap. Man, these are some big old shocks. These shocks are gonna be able to hold up all the hard work this truck's gonna go through.
We got both sides punched. Got our shock mount in the right spot. I'm just gonna drill it. Drill that side. Everything's gonna be 100% true. So the truck goes perfectly level when you're going down the road.
I don't know if you noticed it. There's a sign over there. Do not drill or weld spring.
What do you think, Rudy? This big old shock looks perfect proportion to this big old truck, right?
Doesn't even look that big when it's on the truck.
Right? That's it, man. This is the last little bit of the suspension. This thing's ready to get blown apart and get coated.
Shoot, well, let's do it.
You know, it's always good to be this part of the process, you know, having all the fabrication done, all the figuring out is done. You know, all the mental anguish is over. Every part of the process from now on is just improvements. You know, it's about to be the payoff for all the hard work. For the Chevy Silverado 5500. This thing is cool, but this is just a starting platform for what I'm thinking. You know, it's always cool to be able to work on your own project. There's no limitations. There's nobody telling you, you know, what to do, what they want. There's no restrictions whatsoever. Whatever you can think of, whatever you can dream of, it's on you.
Yeah, but this much more. Just forward.
That's what the shop's all about, is building cool cars, and especially one that stands out from all the rest of the builds, all the rest of the cars around. You want to make something that just has your personality built in with it. Man, I love this point of the build. Just start to see all the big pieces come together. You know, it makes for a really good day, especially something like this. To see a service bed like this with a truck like this is going to be real cool, especially when it's real high up in the air. Getting excited. You know, the more I look at this thing together, the wheels are turning, getting a few more ideas to really top this thing off. Definitely got to get rid of this.
He just can't leave well enough alone, can he?
Man, this is the point. This isn't well enough. I just love this truck, how everything's looking, but you know, the trailer lights in this thing just kill it. So what I did, man, I had this little plate lasered out for the triple stack, the ABS LEDs. So I'll just cut this thing out, weld this right in. No more trailer lights. Man, I love the style of this bed. You know, I love the work truck feel of this truck, but it's got to have something all the other ones. So the way the new bumper is going to look with the lines on the running board and they carry on to the lines around the bed, the triple stack lights are just really going to go with the whole overall feel of the truck.
It's like you're adding some TVs to the back of your truck.
I would have 10 years ago. We have them all over the place. You know, Tim's grinding down the light panel we made. He's giving it a little bit of bevel all the way around it. So when we weld the light panel into the bed, I'll bevel this a little also.
We'll grind this thing down nice and flush, no powder coat left on it, so you want it metal to metal. Nice weld, nice grind, and very little body filler. And this thing's gonna look super smooth.
These lights are gonna go in from the backside. This is the bucket that holds the LEDs. So to make a stud on here to hold these buckets, I'm gonna drill it all the way through. Then I'll take a bolt and cut the head off. And this side, where the hole is, we'll tack it. Once we do that, it'll hold the bucket tight, hold it against here, it'll be bright, and it'll be better for the weather.
Let's do this, Timmy.
The key to doing this type of metal work is making it totally flush. So a little trick is rubbing your fingernail back and forth. That way you know for sure that one isn't sticking up higher than the other. Just ensures for a nice, even, smooth weld and grind. We got our lifted suspension back from powder coat, and I'm really happy we went with gold.
I don't know, it came out pretty good.
It looks good. It looks like something you go buy at the store, right?
Yeah.
So let's start getting all the suspension components bolted up underneath there, the hangers, the bag mounts and everything. And then we'll put the axles in so we're not working around all that. Hold on. Where are you at?
I need to come over right here.
Okay, look. Let it touch the frame a minute. I ain't enough.
Gotta open more.
That's 33 3/4. This is 34 1/4 now. Got a long way to go. So what we're doing is overspreading this so we can install it and not scratch our frame up. Like the welding process, the heat makes everything distort a little bit, move and wander around. So we're overspreading it, putting up in place so we can put the bolts in. It's gonna cinch it all up super tight. We're good to go. See, just little tricks like that make all the difference in the world.
Nice and tight, looking right.
We're gonna try to pull this up with straps from the truck itself and try to cause as minimum damage as we can.
When you're building these things, people think this is decorative, but really it's not. Each pipe displaces the weight on the bag mount. If you had one, it'd try to teeter-totter. Two would rock the other way. Four makes it solid. So the more you can get, just the better, the beefier it's gonna hold up. And this being a 1.5 ton, you're gonna need all the bag mount, all the support you can get. Now you can see this just completes the whole big, massive, heavy look of the truck we're going for. Just in your face, massive.
Speaker there, another small speaker there.
Lifting a brand new Silverado 5500 is definitely going to turn heads. But I also want to make this thing really loud. So John's going to customize the headache rack with a pair of handmade speaker pods, just like you'd see on a wakeboard boat.
We're going to use these speakers as a chipboard and arrange it up here and see how it looks the best. And once it looks good, we'll make it out of metal. I think we'll put a couple bends in it. Give it some character. We'll cut this faceplate out, and then we're gonna end up connecting this to the headache rack with a bunch of little pieces to give it that wakeboard style setup. We'll get this template off of here, go trace it on some metal, and cut it out. Doing custom work like this is always fun. I'm so used to doing, suspension work and metal work, but when it comes to doing metal work outside the box, it's always fun to do something different. Now I got the outside shape cut out. What I'm gonna do is mark 1.25 inches all the way around, and I'm gonna cut that out, and it's gonna leave me 1.25 inch flange to go mount up on the headache rack. And I did a radius here where the speaker's gonna be at. Change it up a little bit. Now all these straight lines were easy because I just, run a torch along a straight edge. It's all about finding a right spot to hold this torch and just pivot it around. Keep it steady. Stumble a little bit, the torch is gonna move, and I'm gonna mess this piece up. I'm gonna start all over. That's how you get it done. I'm gonna draw me some lines where I know to set this up in the metal brake and give it a little break here and there to give it that crazy shape that we're looking for. Now we got a little personality to this. The only thing I gotta do is do the exact same thing to the other piece. We're gonna get to cutting. We're gonna remove all of this out of there. We don't need it. It's gonna give us a much cleaner look without it. I'm free. No more locked doors. Now it's time to clean this up. Take some of this paint off so we can tack our new pieces on. That way we can get these cool tower speakers built on this headache rack. We got everything grinded and sanded down nice and clean. Now we can see what we got to work with. What I'm going to do now is tack me a couple pieces from here to the headache rack. And then we're going to start building our plates off of that. Now I got the frames all on there. Now it's time to fit the speakers inside the frame to see how they fit all in there. This is looking really cool. Imagine this going down the road, music blaring.
The new wheels are 28 by 8 1/4, and our new tires are 42 by 15 50s. You know, they're way too big for our tire machine. So Tim's gonna take them somewhere that'll handle the job.
Should be 10, 15 minutes. Yeah, we definitely got our work cut out for us, man. It's on there. Phase 1. We're going to let this beautiful machine here and that robo arm kind of push down on these sidewalls so we can get underneath there and make sure that thing fits for you. Usually the shop, if we have something big like this, we gotta grab some big pro bars and do it on the ground. Like butter. See if we can get some air in this bad boy and get it rolling. So because we work on everyday cars, this actually has a regulator on there to keep my guys safe. Because this is a 1550 on a 28 8 1/4 wheel, we're gonna hook up a direct line of just straight on air. There it goes. That's good. Perfect. Done. Woo. Man, I was just joking about 10 or 15 minutes, but y'all made that look super easy. You got it good.
What's up, man?
That's looking good, man.
Yeah, once that grill's in there, man, it's gonna look really good.
We definitely want to take our time to make it right, you know, get the angles right. You want to look at it wherever you're at it. You want it to look cool.
Coolness from every angle.
Right. Finishing the sides in, boxing it in is going to be pretty critical on something like this.
Mm-hmm.
I got the chipboard, got the tape. Start making it.
Hell yeah.
The puzzle has begun.
Mm-hmm.
Man, you just never know where this is gonna take you, right? It's a work bed, but you still want it to look cool. You want it different, right? You don't want it to be like the same one going down the street.
Yeah. If I was to see this thing going down the road, I'd be like, man, I want one of those.
Right. So it's a great start right here. You're creating the coolness factor as we go. So you want to really get back once you get a couple steps in. We'll get back and really look, see how that's flowing.
Yeah.
That's the whole thing about custom, right? Is making it your own, making it cool, making somebody go, man, that's cool. Yeah. That's what we do this for. It's got a little flatness right here. Let's get a back piece on here. See if we can change it up a little bit. Yeah, man, that looks good. Yeah.
Bill got a good start on laying this out for me, so I know exactly what he wants. Now I could go and take his template, trace this on some metal, get to cutting and breaking it. I'm gonna start breaking on here, and then I'm gonna break this line, and I'll do the two ends last. And by doing this, we'll get one nice clean piece with a few breaks in it instead of a bunch of welding going on, which will tend to cause warping. Now we got the outside cap. I'm gonna start building this inside piece for the bottom. I'm getting all my measurements off of what we already built here and transferring them over to this piece of sheet metal that's gonna fit these contours here. I'm gonna take it over to the brake, bend it. And it's just so much better trying to do this as one piece of metal than having so much work on the body guys. They could give me a pat on the back when I'm done. I'm gonna tack this up here, front and back, and then trim off all the excess. Now we got the bottom panel in, we can continue over the top, connect the two. Because the issue I'm having is the speaker mount is higher than the rest. And I'll go back and mold this in with some more material and make it look like it's supposed to be like that. And it is supposed to be like that. Shh, don't tell nobody. Get that all molded up and make it look good. This is one of those things that had to be done for clearance issues, but at the same time of just notching it out, we could also make it look cool.
Man, John, this thing looks so good. That's something you definitely don't see every day, right?
Right, definitely.
This thing is going to be loud. Having built a few lifted trucks in our day, you know, you got to think about how you're going to climb up in it. So we made some brand new running boards for our Chevy 5500. We got the truck over on the 4-post lift. It's way easier to work on this thing, you know, perfect height, just the height you're working at, and no post in the way. What we did is take off the factory steps, and they're going to replace it with a piece of sheet metal that we had in our spot for our toolboxes. Cleans it up a lot, huh? Hides all that. And gives it a little style too. Way better. Now it looks complete. Let's give it a quick little rough cut. You know, anytime you're doing something like this where, you know, you get one shot at it, you know, it's a little bit of work taking this thing on and off, you know, 3, 4, 5, 6 times, but, you know, it's a lot more work to go back and have to recreate something you already cut off too much of. Looks like a factory part. I guess the next step is cutting the holes out, and we'll get these boxes in. Man, I kind of like it right there.
Little cut lines.
Man, that looks way better, huh? No more flatness, gives us some depth, and it's useful. Saving some measurements here. You know, the speaker pods are done, but we're not finished with the audio. I want to fill some of the built-in boxes in the bed with speakers and amps. And John's over in the interior shop making some amp racks right now.
We got 9 amplifiers total going in this thing. This thing's going to be a monster. Get the Brad. When we have the other set of amplifiers stacked over here, we'll be able to just travel up and down through here with our wires and get this thing drawn out and make a pretty cool looking little amp rack. And we'll get all those cut out. We'll have amplifier here. Bam, bam, bam. Next thing I'm going to do, cut out some 1/4-inch strips, get them stapled on. We'll go over the router, flush trim all this out. So next step I got is take my template that I made, transfer it over onto the aluminum so I can go rough cut it out. By far the worst part of working with aluminum is having to rough cut it because you have to do it by hand. All you can do is just get after it and cut it and settle in for a long journey because it's not easy. Alright, we just take our double-sided stick tape here, lay it up, get it stuck to this aluminum. Basically what we've got here is some dish soap. I like to use this stuff here for a lubricant for cutting aluminum. If you mess up cutting it, there's no fixing it. You just throw it away and start all over, and that's never fun for anybody. I've watched guys lose their jobs over scrapping parts. Not something I want to do. All right, pull these apart. All right, clean this off. Go over to Jesse, get him to...
Bill can't leave well enough alone. He'd have to go get 2 speakers out of the shop. So I brought him a box. He said, no, 2 boxes. So he's going to pull more speakers to the front. So the back's going to be loud, and now the front's going to be loud.
My brand new Silverado medium duty is almost done. We're going to add a winch and a place for even more speakers. Man, this is exactly what this thing has to have. Some kind of forward projection. So the 6.5-inch wake tower speakers are just perfect.
really hope people like Bill's music. You're going to be listening to exactly what he's listening to.
After all the work we did to the bed, it's time to get it over to body and paint so we can color match everything all black.
Welcome in, guys. Welcome in.
Now the only thing left is putting all the pieces together.
Good morning. Yeah.
We're installing the amp rack, running boards, and speaker grills. Huge billet dually wheels, and then it's ready for its world premiere. You know, it's great working with great craftsmen, and it's even cooler to work with. Strive to do better and do better and do better.
I never had an older brother, so I've always looked at Bill as that older brother you look up to that always had the cooler stuff. Way older brother.
Me and Tim have this kind of sibling rivalry for sure. We're always pushing each other, you know, when we're building things for ourselves. He's working on his own car. You go by, you're like, oh man, what is, you gonna let this get by, Tim? I don't let him get by with stuff he would, you know, try to do on his truck, and him the same with me.
We have a competition with each other, but we want the best for his, best for mine. End of the day, we're still putting extensive on both of them. So he and I do push each other to go to the max, because it's us against everybody, not just him against me. You know, we're trying to set the bar on the whole car industry. Thanks, older bro.
Every year we have an open house at the shop. We got friends, family, old customers, and hopefully some new ones. And I can't wait to show them what we've been up to. It's always cool to, you know, have parties like this, have an open house, and just, you know, see what comes through the door. And for sure, stuff like this is exactly what, you know, gets me excited. You know, you never know what's going to come through the gate, but you got to go see what's going on. How old is he?
4 months.
4 months? Man, he's cool. Man, this thing's crazy. You know, there's a certain kind of person that loves lifted trucks. And for them, a brand new Chevy 5500 medium duty, 14 inches in the air, is going to blow them away.
Hey, you guys, come on over. I want to show you guys something. Come on. Come on over.
For real, thank you guys for coming out, you know, and always supporting, you know, myself, my team, Extensive. It says a lot to me. You know, you guys coming out. I know it's free food and free beer, but thanks for coming.
Thanks, Bill.
I got all you guys together. You know, I want you guys to check out the latest Extensive build and tell me what you think. Yeah! All right, Timmy, come on out with it. Example of just teamwork makes the dream work. Brand new medium duty Silverado. When I got this thing, it was just a cabin chassis, just basic work truck, no frills whatsoever. So first thing we did is got it in the shop, put it on the lift, and got it at the height that looked good. Push the button again, a little higher. Push the button again, a little. All right, cool. Get the axles down in the right spot, and just build everything from the truck down to the ground. Starting out with the big, huge 4-link underneath this thing, big bags. This thing gets 14 inches of lift from all the way down to all the way up, totally adjustable. You know, if you're gonna have a big 4x4 truck like this, you gotta have some unique, cool wheels on this thing. 28-inch dually wheels with big 42-inch tall tires. You know, I wanted to go something totally different and do a utility bed. You know, nobody does a bed like this on a truck like this.
Typical Bill fashion, when we got the bed, couldn't leave well enough alone. You think you can bolt the bed on this thing? Yeah, I never worked with Bill Carlton. He had to change up the whole bed, tail lights side, added some speakers on the top.
Well, if you're gonna have a stereo, you gotta have a stereo. I wanted like a wakeboard style stereo in the headache rack. Somebody behind me, they ain't gonna be able to hear either. And we put 10 Rockford Tower speakers all throughout the bottom of this thing. So not only that, it's gonna hit just as good. There's a ton of stereo just inside also. You know, we utilize every compartment in this thing just to be loud. From the speakers behind the grill to the winch, this thing's ready to party and get to work. Now you gotta be able to get in this big old truck, right? So we had to make some steps, had to build some running boards and incorporated, toolboxes in this thing just to break up some of the smoothness that's in between there. Tie everything together and give it a little style. I really appreciate all you guys coming out and checking this thing out. Another example, teamwork right here. And this is what happens. Everybody comes together and makes some cool stuff. You guys walk around this thing, check it out. Let me know how we did.
Truck is unreal. I'd love to build something like this one day.
When they did the speakers up here, that's amazing, man. I mean, you don't see that type of work made out of metal.
Big 42 tires on them 28s. They're wrapped pretty good looking.
Man, I love this Bill, man. Bill showed out again, man. I'm definitely going to pull up to the shop and take this one out on the weekend and pull up to the club. And
reaction of these guys, we did what we were supposed to do. When you're building a custom truck, every part and piece plays upon the whole bed. There's so much customization on this thing. It'd take you 2 hours to see everything that's going on from bumper to bumper. This thing's gonna bring a lot of business to the
cut $10,000 off this truck. Oh, you didn't just bring more wiring over here.
Size-wise, this 2019 Polaris is a small vehicle for us, but it's got some big issues.
Heck, having this thing,
man, this thing was in a tornado. Anything we can do to help you, man, and help your granddaughter, we're in.
If this ain't hooked up correctly, nothing's gonna work.
Oh, no way!
I'm Bill Carlton. I built my first truck when I was 16. And ever since, me and my guys have been out here creating with our hands. Building the biggest, lowest, baddest custom trucks and cars in the game. People don't come here for what they need. They come here for what they want. This is Texas Metal.
Yeah. What better way to have a little family bonding than having your kids help you cut up a car? And before I send this thing off to get scrapped, I figured I'd give my kids a little lesson on how to use some tools and cut some metal.
I've never really used tools like this. It's not that bad except for it's just pumping my arms out, but that's alright. It's a good workout, and I really like working out, so I guess it's fun.
Couple little more pieces, the whole roof's gonna be off. Go out on your side. Got it? Yep. What do you think?
Heck.
Fresh convertible? Yes.
It's a good family day. We cut up the car, and so now we're just gonna have some fun.
Test it out.
Yeah.
Hey, where's Cleve at? Cleve! Come on! Come on! I can't really tell you personally how many donuts I've done in this parking lot. Maybe 1 million or so. But this is Cleve's first, and he seemed really happy to be here. Seeing this thing in a stage like this, it finally feels like this thing's coming together. After being so long just a cab on the lift, feels like we're getting some things done. It's been a lot of hard work. You got that right. Just getting this thing apart's a lot of hard work. Yeah. We're months into making this 2020 Denali 3500, one of the first ever body drop in the world. The owner wants to haul some of his other show cars with it to SEMA. So we had to put more engineering into this thing to make it perform even better than he wants. With a body back on the frame, it looks like we're almost done. But I can tell you, we're a long ways away.
Oh, Lord, are you guys trying to pull a house or something? That's serious.
Damn right it is. This transfers all the weight from a trailer. Sometimes it could be 20, 30,000 pounds of stopping and starting. goes to this right here.
So we can put a house on there.
Absolutely. Just from the start of this, getting it on the lift and tearing it apart was a major job. You know, laying the chassis out, building the chassis on the table, getting the frame underneath this, you know, rear suspension, just to get to this stage is huge amount of labor.
I know.
This is not just double work or triple work. It's not even quadruple. What's after quadruple?
A lot.
The finishing work on a build like this is always the hardest part. It's a huge build, but the small details, they take a lot of time. Now that we got the foundation, we can build the front suspension and huge wheel tubs that tuck those big old 28-inch wheels. Color match the frame and plastics, create a fully articulating speaker system in the bed, and finding space to put everything back together under the body. And that's rewiring, reconnecting, rebuilding, making this truck 100% brand new again, just like it is.
We got a lot of work done, but there's still a whole lot of work to do and a whole lot of parts to order. So let's get to it.
Let's get it.
This stage of the build, it's all about making room underneath the body to cram everything back in. So Tim and John are getting started to making room for these big old wheels.
The name of the game is bigger the wheels, the lower to the ground. And you know as well as I know.
Most important thing, the brake system.
We're not going to cut the factory fender tabs off. We're going to use those to line everything back up. That way it'll look factory from the outside, and it'll keep all the factory gaps exactly the same. We're going to build back a support with some DOM. We need something that's going to keep all these tabs 100% where they're at and keep this where it's at. Because then the fender will bolt right back up here, and all this will gap back perfect, the hood will shut perfect, everything will stay right.
You know, I've seen a lot of custom builds where they made something look good, but later on down the road, it just didn't hold up. Yeah, so we got to fit it down now. We got to have form and function, stability. What good is a cool car if you can't drive it down the road safely? Pretty damn good.
That's going to work. That clears the hinge, clears the hood, supports that.
Clears a gas shock too, so we don't have to mess with that.
I think everything's been perfect.
I'm holding the fender tabs right to the support to keep everything in line. Now we got our new support in there. We can remove all of this to get our new big wheel in there. There you go. Starting to see this thing getting put together and starting to look like a whole truck again.
You see the door gap, it all lines back up perfect. We don't even have to sit there and try to make the fender mounts.
Yep, and it's looking real good.
While Tim and John are making good progress on the 2020 Denali's front end, I'm going to get started making articulating speaker brackets for the bed. You know, just having a drop dually, big wheels all the way on the ground just isn't enough. You just got to have that little bit more. So we're going to make a speaker bracket that mounts 4 speakers in the bed and articulates up. So when he's parked, he can actually raise it up and the sound projects over the bed and out to everywhere. I took a couple of quick measurements off the bed with the bed cover, with the wheel wells, and made a quick drawing on the table so I know exactly what kind of room we have to work with, and we'll come up with some kind of mount that's going to be cool. Just a lot of figuring out to do. You know, there's a lot of pivot points, a lot of measuring. We'll see what happens. We need to make one a little shorter to maybe kick it up a little bit or kick it down a little bit. You can play with all those little angles, all those little pivot points to make the speaker do whatever you want to with it. So once we make them act right, we can duplicate that in bars and pipe and bushings.
Man, that's something to start out, but having some articulation like this to where it actually moves and it's got function to it, man, that's that next step.
I'm using the measurements from the rods and bolts to make the final articulating arms for the speakers.
So have something like that.
I want these things quick, so Max and Jesse are going to weld these things out, all while me and Jamie are going to make the frame to hold all these mounts to the bed.
You know, it's one thing to lay it out on the table and make little bitty mounts and get it in your head, okay, it's going to work. But when you actually convert that over to the bracketry and drill holes and spend time making all the pivot points right, the little bars right, you put it all together, you know, there is some question there if it's really going to work. So right now we're going to put it together and actually see if it's going to do what we need to do.
You just have that in your head, just popped it out?
Fine. Figure it out till it works. See what works. Speaker about here, you know, facing out, then coming out over the bed. It'll be pretty cool.
Yeah, it's like really cool.
We finished fabric, gonna make room for it in the bed.
All right, now we're to the point we need to put this bed on the new frame. But as you can see, the notch of the frame and the gooseneck hitch is gonna stick through the bed. So what I'm gonna do right now is just cut a hole out in this bed floor so I can get it on there, and then we'll go back and figure out how we're gonna fill this back in. When this truck's laid out all the way on the ground, you'll be able to walk up, look in the bed, and the gooseneck hitch and the bag mounts are gonna show through the bed floor. And you get to appreciate all the work that went into this frame, which for me is a nice change. A lot of times we'll do all this and it simply gets covered up. All right, now we have a hole.
I'm about to cut $10,000 off this truck. We gotta remove all this, because once that truck lays down on the floor, we need room for that big tire to reach all the way up here. Now we get all this out the way, now we got plenty of room for these big wheels and tires.
Which means it's got 4 wheels in the back. So that means we need to make even larger wheel tubs in the bed to fit those 28-inch tires.
This is how we roll our sheet metal to get the same radius as our wheel tub. And we need a little bit more. Whew. So the tub has to be extra wide to accommodate both dually wheels on the back of this truck. So what we're gonna do is butt weld the new piece to the old piece, and what that is fitting them tightly together on edge and welding right along the crease. Just to let you know, welding around magnets sucks. These magnets hold the pieces of metal together while I weld, which is good, but because the welder uses a metal wire, that same magnet disrupts the arc connection. So it can be a little tricky. Welding is nearly impossible.
John officiated the marriage of these two pieces of metal. Relationships have ups and downs and bumps. So me, I'm a marriage counselor. I'm gonna smooth this out.
On fire today.
Things got a little smoky around here.
What's up, Doug?
Hey, Bill, how you doing, buddy? Good to see you, man.
In the custom car business, it's always good to get those repeat customers. We worked on Doug's 48 GMC truck years ago. Good to see you, man. What are we doing with this thing?
Well, we're not doing anything to the truck. We're going to focus on the most important thing. That's my granddaughter's Polaris.
That?
This.
Oh, come on, man.
Yeah, I know it don't look like a Polaris today, but it used to. Her house was hit by a tornado on Easter Sunday, an EF4 tornado in South Mississippi. They lost everything, destroyed the house, destroyed everything, lost all of her toys, clothes, and she lost her Polaris. And this was the most important thing that she was looking for after the tornado. So we've got to get it fixed. The tornado hit my daughter's house with our 3 grandchildren, and it scared me and my wife to death. We were here in Houston. She called us right before it happened, and then it was 15, 20 minutes before she called us back and told us they were okay. Very scary moment. When everything was done, and this was the first thing she went to looking for, and it was 250 yards away, and you can tell it may have barrel rolled once. So that's why this Polaris is so important.
You know, we customized a lot of vehicles in all different stages of the customization, but never one that's been through a tornado. I don't know if there's really much hope for this thing, but we're definitely going to see what we can do. I think the first thing we need to do is actually get this thing down and really see what we got to do. You know, get that frame back straight. I know there's probably going to be some frame issues, and put new plastics on it, make sure that all bolts back together right. And I think instead of just bolting the factory cage back on, just build something cool for her. Make it so she's, you know, not only looking cool, but safe also.
Absolutely. She loves this thing, and whatever you do is going to make it that much better, Bill.
Yeah, this thing's going to be cool. You know, this isn't a normal project we do around here. You know, but being so close to the Gulf, we know all about what those storms can do. Anything we can do to help you, man, and help your granddaughter, you know we're in.
Man, I appreciate you, Bill. That's why I come to see you.
You know, a job like this is what I would normally turn away. But, you know, when an old friend brings it in and it has such a heartwarming story, you don't have any choice but to help out. Looking at this after it's been in a storm the way it has, and just seeing the steel being mangled and rolled over, but it just shows you how much power the wind has. And I'm just happy no one was hurt in that. I'm going to pull this into the shop, and everybody's going to go, what are you doing? What's this here for? But once they hear the story and they hear who it's for, I know they're going to be all in. By the time we get a small project, right?
The heck happened to this thing? It looked like somebody jumped it.
Man, this thing was in a tornado. The wind did this. Chunked this thing a quarter mile. You know, it's Doug's granddaughter. She just cherished this thing. This was her favorite thing to have, right? And they lost their house. They lost everything. So we need to bring this thing back to life. What I want to do is get it in the shop so we got a nice level surface. Let's take off all the plastics and, you know, skirting on this thing to see what's bent and what's straight.
Yeah, I'm sure once you get all this off, all kind of stuff's going to be...
Yeah, I'm definitely afraid of that, but it ain't something we can't handle for sure. You know, once we get everything back straight, I want to go back with new plastics, bumpers, front and rear. And we'll probably wrap the new plastics too to not have the
everybody else look.
Exactly. If we're going to do it, we might as well make it special for it. We'll put doors on this thing, you know, to get rid of that. It's not as safe as doors on this thing. You know, we'll top it off with some lighting, and, you know, she had speakers underneath there, but we'll add some cool ones to it. Once we get all the bottom of this thing all nice and straight, we'll go back with a custom cage, just a one-off, and we'll make the roof a little longer, stronger, meaner, and a lot cooler looking.
It's really cool to do this back for her and make it all back to something she really enjoyed. It's gonna be better than Christmas for her.
Be nice to be a part of that, right?
Yeah.
Doug's definitely gonna be Grandpa of the Year.
I might adopt him as my grandpa.
Keegan and Joey are gonna tear this down so I can see what shape the chassis is in.
Did you ever have one of these when you were a kid?
Not something like this big, but like maybe like a little small, like a little tiny 4x4.
Little small one?
Yeah, ride around every once in a while.
Good?
Yeah.
Good over there? Ready to go up. Tweak to the rear of the frame on the little side-by-side. So what I'm going to use is the porta-power here. It's basically a slender jack. So you put the little pieces together until it fits into place, put it in between the frame and the bent part of the frame, jack it up perfectly straight when I'm done. We'll check the level real quick on that.
It's riding the line a little bit, but it's still in between the lines.
But we want it on the money.
Well, it's off. It needs to come up on this one.
This one? Up?
Yes. Come on up, right there.
You know, being thrown through the air like it was, this frame is in better shape than I thought it was going to be. Check it right here. But even small bends to it can have huge consequences.
It's kind of wobbly on that thing.
So our first step, we need to straighten it up.
Go up on it?
Yeah. Go up, Mo. Up. Okay. Yeah. Hold on just a second. Let's get a long piece of tubing and stick right here. We went just a little too far, so we can give it a little tweak. Okay. You know, so we're jacking it up, push a little bit. So you got to push it up just past level, so when the tension releases, it comes back level, right? Well, we went just a little bit too far, so we're just gonna take a big bar, twist that sucker again, and make it perfect. Man, do that one more time. I think you got it. Perfect. Size-wise, this 20, but because of the tornado literally threw it a quarter of a mile, it's got some big issues. You know, Jamie fixed the axles, we straightened the frame, so now we can put on new plastics and doors.
All right, Jamie, I think we're ready for the door, man.
Well, let's see what happens.
Try to get the other door on.
Oh, wow.
Whoa.
Hey, Bill. Huh?
Everything's in. Man, this is how much further than it's supposed to be.
34 3/8 to the center of that hole.
That one ain't in the same shape.
That's 32 1/8. Yeah, it's been a little bit.
It's got a belly.
Typical job, you know, you thought was cut and dry. Okay, this is bent, let's fix it. Done. Everything should line up, right? Well, that's not the way it works. Start putting the doors on it, notice, whoa, this doors overlaps the body by an inch. So trying to just bend it back an inch is going to be pretty difficult.
Where do we even start to pull it?
Let's get this thing off of here, get it loaded up on the back of the wrecker. Okay. We'll strap it down and see if we can pull it with the winch.
Cool.
Tilt forward. We got the front and the back of the frame are still tweaked. So we're going to use the wrecker and the winch to stretch the body, all while keeping the integrity of the frame. Alright. It's the only tool I can think of. We can pull it at multiple points at one time and still hold everything from the back, strap it down to the wrecker, so we'll see what happens. Here, come do this real quick. Let me look at it. Okay. Ready? I'll tell you when to stop. Just as easy as you possibly can. Alright. Okay, do it again. Alright. Cut off. Alright. You know, the wrecker and the winch definitely done its job. Door's got plenty of room now. We definitely tweaked it, moved it forward. You know, the next thing is getting everything back nice and level so it all lines up. And everything will be on the money. On the other side of the shop, Tim and John are finishing up the extra large wheel tubs on that 2020 Denali.
Now we got a completed extended rear tub. Now I can get this placed in the bed, clamped with a straight edge across the top, get it tacked in place. That fits nicely. I like it. Place. Now we can weld these things fully and get ready to move on to capping these edges and putting the bed back on the truck.
We have the tubs made here. Now we need to make the filler go down to here. Something to keep the dirt out of there, the mud, the water coming out all the way. This will really just enclose the wheels and is add strength and structure to the tub. So we're gonna tack it, when we come back and grind it, it'll all look like one piece, like it wasn't made out of three pieces. This whole tub will look like a one piece you just set in here.
Because the Denali needs to look like a show truck and perform like a work truck, we need to build a massive set of control arms to keep all that weight going straight down the road.
Building control arms for a bigger truck, you want to have a stronger arm than your typical square body or regular half-ton pickup truck. That's why we use thicker material, bigger, better ball joints to be able to accommodate not only the weight of the vehicle, but the weight that's actually attached to the back of it as well.
Go ahead and throw the wheel on just to make sure when it pushes out, we're not hitting here. We clear everything. See what it looks like laid out too.
Yeah. The top of this bar is going to rip. That represents our suspension being bottomed out completely, which in turn means the truck laid out all the way on the floor.
Man, you think it looks good in there? You got to see it from out here. It ate up half that wheel, put it all the way in there. It looks good. It looks real good.
Does it look as good as me?
We sent the chassis off to powder coat. Now we can get to reconnecting, which is probably miles of wire, back into a space that's way more limited.
So when we first got started with this truck, kind of hooking all of this, that was easy. Very easy. But going back and putting it all in, laying all the harnesses out, that's really, really not fun. Oh, you didn't just bring more wiring over here. I was starting to feel good until I seen you walk over with that. Was that heavy?
A little bit. Now I know why this is a 1-ton.
Needed a 1-ton just to hold up all the harness.
Yeah. You got this, buddy.
We're going to have to get that box to fit through there.
Gotta get all these wires, all these sensors, everything plugged back. Almost everything works on a loop, where if this isn't connected, half the truck on that side won't work. If something's not connected, a little sensor in the back, this might not work, that might not work. So everything has to be plugged in just as it's factory, so the computer doesn't throw any codes or act like there's a problem anywhere.
Custom frame for the 2020 Denali is back from powder coat. The white is going to match perfect with the body.
Yeah, the powder makes a really, really nice coating on it, and it gets into every crack and crevice. From the raw steel, raw tubing, raw pipe, to this, it's come a long ways. It looks totally different once you get some color on it.
Definitely, looks real good.
The fact that it's color matched to the truck, it didn't look like you just took some frame and put anything. You know that frame goes to that truck on those wheels. Everything unloaded, everything's situated on the table. We can start assembling the frame, put the motor and transmission on it, roll it underneath the body and put the body down. And it's gonna look good with them big billet wheels on it going down the road.
Tornado damage on the 2019 Polaris. Now Jamie and I are going to build a custom cage from scratch. You know, the tornado definitely threw this thing for many loops, but you know, we got this thing back where it needs to be. The next step is building the cage. So once the cage is built, tied into the framework of the little side-by-side, everything is going to be super strong and not bend or give. It's going to hold everything perfectly level and straight. So what I'm going to do first is just start bending some pipe up, get the angles right, and kind of step back and look at it, see what feels right, and just keep building upon that. Send it over here. Jump to the for me, please. What I want to do is build a sporty custom cage. We obviously have to replace what's missing. So if we're going to do that, I want to make something, you know, a little bit lower profile, stretch it a little bit, instead of just buying a new one online. You know, that's what we do. We build custom things. So not only, you know, put some safety back in it, some rigidity back in it, but put some custom coolness back in it too. I like the way how everything flows, man. It looks good, and it's super strong too. She's gonna be happy.
Definitely looks real good together.
My kids are gonna be so jealous.
Oh, we gotta build another one?
Man, it's come a long way since this little side-by-side was tossed by the tornado. Jamie's making a custom aluminum roof.
That bit's nice. We're happy with that.
And we had a custom wrap made for it. We're adding in a brand new stereo system and some light bars. I can't wait for Doug's granddaughter to see this thing now. So I'm really excited. You know, we finally got this project done. Today's the day we're going to give it back to some special little girl. You know, typically I would usually turn a project away like this, but, you know, considering it's for Doug and what it means to Doug and his family, you know, I can't not help out on this.
What's going on, Bill? Hey, good to see you.
How you doing, man?
This is my granddaughter, McKinley.
Hi, how you doing?
Good.
I heard a lot about you. Grandpa's pretty proud of you.
That's right.
Your grandpa was telling me you were in a little scary little incident a while back. Tell me what happened.
There was a tornado.
You were in the tornado? Was that scary?
Yeah.
Man, I bet it was. Not only your house was totally gone, there was something you really loved was gone too, right? What was that?
My buggy.
The wind took it way far away?
Down to our pond.
In the pond on it was messed up bad, huh?
Yes. Her buggy was only 6 months old, so I knew I had to bring it here to get it fixed. It meant a lot to her. Now it's time to see what Bill and the boys have done.
I tell you what, we got you fixed up. Grandpa got you fixed up. You ready to check it out?
Yeah.
I bet you are. I bet you ready to ride.
You ready to ride?
Yeah. Let's check it out.
Let's see it. Holy cow, look at that, McKinley. Man, that is awesome, Bill. Look at that. What do you think?
I love it.
You love it?
Yeah.
Golly. Wow. Bill, that don't even look like the same buggy.
That's a good thing, right?
Yeah, that's a good thing. Man.
Last time you seen it was a little squished, huh?
Yeah. When the buggy came out, I was so excited to see it. Let's just say I was speechless.
Man, that thing looks great, Bill. Tell me what all y'all did.
Well, you seen the parts we had to work with, right?
Yeah, I did.
Once we put it on the lift, we started dismantling it. We really noticed the frame was hurt a lot more than originally thought.
Yeah.
You know, the plastics and everything were hiding a lot of damage underneath there. It had to replace the rear axle, replaced all the plastics. So we put new bumpers on it. And of course, it didn't have...
What's that on the door?
A tornado.
A tornado?
Had Pixelworks come over and they custom wrapped it. They designed this wrap for you.
For you. You know how we know it's just for you? It's got Doodle on the door.
Hey, where'd you get the name Doodle?
Popsy gave it to me.
Popsy gave it to you? That's awesome.
Man, it looks great, Bill. It really does.
Build a whole new cage. We made all that in-house. Instead of buying, just a replacement, we made it a little bit shorter and a little bit more laid back. Give it a little more cool look, sleek look. Made a new roof for it, made it a little bit longer. We made it all out of aluminum. Went back with lighting, had to put the stereo back in it. And we put some little antennas on the back with lights in them.
That's all. What do you say?
Thank you.
You're very welcome. Doug, I know this is special for you, and it's special for us.
Man, that's nice, isn't it?
Thank you for letting us be a part of this very special project. Over on the other side of the shop, the guys are making good progress on the rolling chassis. And now it's the moment of truth.
4 links to the axle, hook the airbags up, and then we'll be able to run all the brake lines, the brake calipers, put the front wheels on, we can air it up and roll it out. But we have to put all the wiring on there, all the modules, the DEF, all that's going back on, so the whole thing will be hooked back up like it was factory. Now it's just the tedious part of just putting it all back together.
This 2020 Denali wants this low and loud. We got the low taken care of, now to make it loud by finishing up the articulating speakers. I got the hard part done. I got the lifting part that's going to lift the speakers over the bed. The next step to all this is making it motorized. So I'm going to put an actuator on the back to lift this up. But I'm going to try to do it with just one actuator and trying to make it lift evenly. That's another little trick too. So once that's all set up, put 12 volts to it, it should lift the speakers right up over the bed. It's pretty dang close. The whole object of this whole bracketry is pushing a button and having the speakers come out of the bed. Just whole overall project, right? What I'm going to do is cut out a piece of 2x2 square tubing to make a bracket for the lower part of the actuator. Affix it to the whole bracket, push a button, and it lifts up. We got all our little pieces cut. We got everything mocked up. Next step's putting some power to it and see if this actually works. Everything we build, you have a general idea. Once you have the idea, then you start building plans. The main thing is just having the creativity of having the idea. That's a huge hurdle. Once you have that, it's just using your skills, using your tools, and just making it happen. Pretty cool.
powder coat. We've got all the front suspension on, the rear suspension's on, brake lines are ran, fuel lines are ran. We're at the exciting point now. We can finally marry this cab to this chassis. It's like you do everything, and here's the keys to the new house. Now you can move in.
Is that in?
Is that it?
Yeah.
Just trying to line up here to line up this bolt with this hole. There, it goes straight down. It makes it much easier. Plus, the motor's so tight, the transmission's so tight that you don't have a lot of room side to side. All right, ready?
Yeah.
So we put it down. It's a little bit too far off. We'll hit the body. We could hit a module. Could hit something else. So we're taking a little bit of time. Line this up. Drop the whole thing down, and everything should clear. How's the radiator look?
We're getting close.
Watch your fingers. We married the cab to the chassis. We're about to do the bed to the chassis. All right, we gotta watch this bar when we set this down. We can't scratch it. Down. Go forward. Down. All right. Okay. Thank you.
Good job, guys.
And now you can see the bed on the truck. You can see all the notch coming through that's gonna hold the gooseneck. All that white shining through the black bed liner just stands out and pops really nice.
Now we got about 40% of the wiring done. This thing got so much electrical going on. It's about a full day of work just messing with wiring. This is the main fuse box to the whole vehicle. If this ain't hooked up correctly, it needs to be sent. Now, it should only go on one way. See that little green thing pop up? That means it's connected and tight. The plug from the bottom is seated properly to the pins at the bottom of this fuse panel.
Man, we're at the final stages of getting this truck off the lift and on the ground. Seems like we've been doing wiring for 4 days now.
I'm so sick of seeing wires. Most of them are plugged in. Only a few left that are really giving me a hard time. There is just a ton of wiring and connectors that gotta get crammed in the areas and tied down. Oh man, so much stuff.
On big builds like this, it's super satisfying to see it all come together at the end. 28-inch wheels, speakers attached to articulating arms in the bed. We're ready to show this to the world.
I don't know about you guys, but I've been here 7 years now.
I've been here 7 years also.
Oh yeah, you sure have, huh?
This year will be 12 years.
That's 12 too many.
You know, it's like anything when you start here. You know, Bill has his own way of doing it, and then you start seeing a new helper show up. He starts doing it some other way, and you're like, maybe the way Bill's gonna want it.
Yeah, so you gotta pass it on. Everything will roll along a lot smoother doing it the way we've done it.
It's definitely easier, you know, that we work together so much that we already know how this other person works. I know what you're gonna do, I know how you're gonna do it, and I can pick up right where y'all left off.
We just practically became mind readers. We know what each other's
yeah.
We know what each other's doing and how to continue.
Pretty sure I spend more time here than home.
Yeah, pretty much.
I can guarantee I've opened that gate and shut that gate more than Bill himself.
You're right about that.
For the 2020 Denali is finally here, and JD drove all the way down from Kansas City to see what we've been up to.
What's up, man?
What's going on, Bill? Good to see you again.
Dang, good to see you, man. It's a great day, huh?
Oh, absolutely, yeah.
Great day to pick up a dually.
Yeah, I'm excited.
I heard you got a little car collection yourself.
Yeah, I do. I got quite a few lifted trucks, a few hot rods,
but never anything lower.
Yeah, nothing slammed.
You know what finally clicked and said, I gotta have a lower dually?
I heard it was the world's first. I had to do it. Nothing better than a lower dually. The reason why I wanted a lower truck this time is just pulling up to shows, being able to slam it down to the ground, watch people's, response, just something different than the lifted truck scene that's been going on the last few years.
I love lifted trucks, but, close to my heart is lower trucks, and especially lower dualies.
Yeah, I can't wait to see it.
You ready to check it out?
I am.
All right, come on, Timmy. Let's check it out.
Oh, no way. No way. Oh.
guys knocked this out of the park. Yes. Yes. Woo! That's what I'm talking about right there. Yes. Hey, I wanted it low. You got it low for me. Yeah, that looks good. The white frame, color matched everything, sitting on the ground. This is beyond my expectations. I can't believe it.
What you think?
Yeah, I love it. Yeah, you guys did an amazing job. It's awesome.
Thank you, man. I mean, you know, Timmy, John, they got down on this, as always. Well, how we had to start is picked it up on the lift and just started unbolting and unbolting and unbolting. Once that was all done, rolled it out and just got busy. Built the suspension, the air suspension on it, to building super strong control arms, to a big heavy duty 4-link for the rear. I mean, this is one of the biggest, strongest frames we've ever built here. I mean, it is overkill.
Yeah.
But that's exactly what you want. You know, that peace of mind when you're going down the road, you want to know that everything is 100% strong and built the way it's supposed to be.
Yeah, you guys did it. So it's absolutely amazing what these guys can do. Can take a brand new 2020 truck, take the old frame out and build a frame from scratch. I mean, I'm just absolutely blown away.
JD, what do you think about those wheels?
Yeah, I love them.
A 28-inch dually wheel on something that low, it just makes a huge, huge statement.
Yeah, the polish looks great on them. Engraved the Richline Motorsports in it. Perfect fit, too.
To finish it all off, you see everything's been color matched. Got rid of all the black plastic. We smoothed all that out, painted it body color. And, you know, it just makes this truck look classy.
Yeah, it does. It's not too much chrome, not too much white. It just all flows together.
Let's check out under the hood.
Yeah, let's check it out. Oh, yeah. Yeah, that looks good. I can't believe that you guys took all this out and got it back in and still made it look factory. Yeah, that's amazing.
Man, it was hard enough getting the motor up to the cowl, much less.
Yeah, I got the tubs in here, color match everything. I mean, it looks great.
I appreciate that. You think this is cool. I really got something to show you in the back.
Yeah, let's check it out. I'm excited to see it. Oh, yeah. God, that is crazy. You can see everything.
Right?
Got the gooseneck in here. That is amazing.
That isn't just something that just bolts into the bed. That is all made directly to the frame. It's artwork made into the framework itself.
Yeah, this should be able to pull anything that I need to pull.
Absolutely. Those huge airbags on there, just pick this big truck right off the ground with whatever weight you got on it.
Yeah, that's crazy. I wasn't expecting that. Yeah.
You wanted some speakers in the back.
Yeah, I see that you guys added some speakers in here. Show me the other part.
Yeah, Timmy hit it. You know, down here in the bed's cool. It's going to make, you know, a lot of noise, but check this out.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah, look at that. Yeah.
Just one more thing. People are just going to go, what?
Yeah, I wasn't expecting that.
Not only, you know, the look of the truck is going to draw people, when they hear this sound, it's just going to project for a mile away.
Yeah, that's awesome how it's got the actuator to bring it right up. I mean, you guys knocked it out of the park. This is a dream come true right here. Hey, you know what? Maybe next SEMA, I can find something a little bit harder for you guys.
JD, you threw us a tall order, but as you can see,
an entirely new dash, something that'll give us a new feel for a very old truck.
You know, this is the first time making a frame with cut plate like this for extensive. It's only been a few months since we finished phase 1 on Ronald's 71 Suburban.
What brings you back? I need some more work done to it.
We can definitely wake this thing up.
I've discovered a huge no-no.
You know, it's not only wrong, it's dangerous.
I'm always up for making things go fast.
This is the definition of custom.
I'm Bill Carlton. I built my first truck when I was 16. And ever since, me and my guys have been out here creating with our hands. Building the biggest, lowest, baddest custom trucks and cars in the game. People don't come here for what they need. They come here for what they want. This is Texas Metal.
Customer Jose, he's got to have a 68. Jose been to a few places looking at a couple projects. None of them really worked out, but hopefully today we'll have a little more luck. What's up, Jose?
Hey, Bill, how you doing? Well, I've been looking for a 68 for a while, but I haven't
found one that has caught my eye.
So my boy Rigo said he's got one in the back of his shop, man. Maybe we might be able to make a deal if you're interested. Maybe we'll test drive this thing.
Let's check it out, see what he got.
We'll see what's up.
Rigo! What's up, baby?
Rigo's a welder who helps us out from time to time. He's got a 68 Chevy in the back that he's used a few parts off of that'll be right up our alley.
It's in the bag, man. I hope it can work out a deal. How's the body look? Body's straight?
It looks good, man. For what y'all gonna do is right.
All right, well, let's check it out.
Look at it.
The 68 truck has always been my dream truck since I was a kid. Growing up and going to car shows, it's the one that always stood out for me.
Here we go.
There it is. Well, Bill, it is a 68 cab. I was thinking we were going to buy a whole truck.
Yeah. You know, Rigo told me he had a truck. Rigo's got parts.
You got a nickname, Keith.
Yeah, keys.
I know Bill's a master at this, but guess we got to keep looking.
Well, man, you know, all the ones we looked at, they look good till you get up to them and really start looking, and then you find all the little hidden problems.
Right.
The advantage to something like this is you see all the problems. There's nothing hidden here.
Right.
You know, so getting a vehicle, well, parts like this is kind of a head start. It's actually save a few hours of teardown time.
I see what you're saying, you know, maybe it saves some time, but, you know, is it really feasible for us to buy a truck in pieces like we have it now?
Man, everything's here. The bed's clean, which is really hard to find. The door's decent, fenders, hood, and that's pretty much everything we need to really start building a truck like this.
But there's a reason I came to Bill. I trust him. If he tells me that this is enough parts to build my dream truck, I'm going to roll the dice, and we'll see what he can come up with.
Man, we don't need 85% of the truck. We're just going to toss it and start anyway. So you want, you know, a full custom chassis, suspension, the brakes, new wheels, tires, crazy engine, and interior. I mean,
you'll have to tear it apart anyways.
I think it's a heck of a start, man.
Right. Yeah, I want that truck that's a showstopper, that's a little unique. If you think you and your team can give me my dream truck with these parts, I think we can take it off Rigo's hands.
Sure, let's go holler at Rigo. I kind of like the fact there's not too many in 1968s anymore. There's only so many made. If you find a 1968, it's either way built out, way pricey, or it's just way too far gone. There's very few are in between. This 68 is in a lot of pieces. Most shops that see a project like this and just keep walking by. And this one would have just continued to rust and just fall apart, cease to exist in so many years. But with the skill we have here, the tools we have here, the manpower we have, the knowledge we have, we're going to create something really cool.
Man, I wonder when the truck's getting here. Got some parts for us?
This is it.
Man, one of these days they're just going to come with the steering wheel and expect us to build something.
I hope there's some more parts in the van.
We got everything we need right here. We don't need the frame. We don't need the interior. We don't need all that stuff a truck usually comes with. It's a head start, Tyson.
Thanks, boss.
Look, you can see inside of the cab. All the problems are exposed right now. We know exactly what we need to do, and we're good. It's a great start.
Definitely know what we don't have to.
To really set this thing apart from all the other ones on the road, we're going to start with a huge motor in this thing. You know, about 800-900 horsepower is what I want. A full custom chassis front to back because Jose wants to put it all the way on the ground with these huge wheels, 26 by 16s in the back. Fabricated rear end, smooth bed, everything, all the sheet metal contoured and painted all body color. You know, as far as the firewall, we're going to cut all that completely out and make a new one. Some with some bead roll panels in, something that looks really cool. It's nothing for you guys.
You got this, Tim.
You have a plan for the interior?
We're going to let John just roll with it and go crazy. As far as the dash, that thing has to be cut completely out. I can't stand these dashes that are in these trucks. We're going to build every piece
and put a ton of stereo in it. Want it really loud also. For the doors.
Got doors?
Yes, we got doors. You know, that's a huge head start too. To have flush mount glass put in this thing, it's going to be totally custom. Step ahead right there. It's easy. Hope I didn't jinx myself on it. Come on, man. Let's get this thing off here.
Let's do it.
You know, the good thing about getting a truck in this shape, we don't have to spend a lot of time tearing it down. We sent the cab straight to blast, and because that's all we have is the cab, it came straight back. And it's in pretty good shape. But we're not done tearing it down, because now John's going to make room for a custom dash.
So we're going to do something in this truck that's going to give us a nice new feel for something that's been done over and over and over. You know, you can only beat a dead horse so long until you just throw it away and buy a new horse. So, new horse. The plan here is first, we've got to get rid of all this old dash. We'll be cutting from door to door, all the way across the top, unbolt it, and just throw this whole thing away. We're going to be building an entirely new dash, new instrument cluster, AC controls, something that'll give us a nice new feel for a very old truck. Now there's nothing left to do but everything.
Yeah, but everything. I'm starting to work on the 68 Chevy frame. Jose wanted something just totally different. He's like, hey, just make me something that's unique. So with a truck that's super low to the ground with air suspension, it's pretty common to see frame rails coming up, protruding through the bed floor and going over the axle. Well, in this case, I want to show off the axle itself as the beauty of the suspension. So you look down into the bed and you see just custom axle with suspension going underneath of it and not really seeing a traditional frame. So I think that's what's going to be the cool aspect of this whole build. Most of the link bar setups that we do is just a 2x2 box tubing with a block on it and they bolt to the axle. Well, this is going to be, you know, just as different. This chipboard is going to represent our link bar. So it's going to bolt to the frame and come back and grab and just hold the rear end. We're going to burn 4 plates at a 1/4-inch plate and then come all the way back to the back side of the frame and then box it all in. Just to save a little time and effort, I'm going to have 2x4 box tubing to here, and then I'm going to graft it to what we're going to build. There. The next step is just transferring everything that's on the table onto my piece of paper so Jesse can burn it out, figured out. Got my saddles figured out. I got my frame rails figured out. Off to Jesse. The plasma table about 12 years ago, and almost every car that's came through here since, we made a part or parts with it. But you know, like all good tools, especially ones you use every day, they wear down. So we ordered a brand new, way better table. But you know, I got one more job for this one. Need your help. All right, I want you to burn these link bars out for me. 4 of these 1/4-inch material, 4 of these 1/4. And the same with the frame rails. All right. You know, this is probably going to be our last job on the old burn table. We got that brand new one coming in. So let's put the whole one to work one last time. All right.
Okay, so what I'm doing now is all the measurements that I got off the cardboard that Bill gave me, I have to put on here. We're going to cut 4 pieces of each, which will make it 8 total. All right, so this is going to be the last time this machine is going to be used. Old Betsy here, this is it for her. Those look good. I like how they came out. They came out real clean. Just clean them up. Polish them out. Take them over to Bill. That was the last run for this machine. Man, I can't wait to use a new one.
You know, there's a good reason why 68 C10s are so popular. With that classic body style, there's a lot of room for customization. For me, the difference between an average C10 and an over-the-top C10 is most definitely the details, like a John Burgess one-off handmade dash.
This is essentially the foundation for the dash. Everything's going to attach to this and be built from this structure out. So I want to make sure that this piece lines up and gets in here exactly where we want it, nice and smooth and even. Because if not, we're going to see it in the end. And with this being the dashboard, you're going to be sitting here staring at it all day, every day as you're driving this truck. So you'll see what's wrong with it. So we want to make sure we take the time to get everything just right. We'll get it secured in place and get ready for bronze pieces.
Got a delivery!
Just in time.
Ooh, hot off the there. Hot. Don't touch it.
Well, I'm just getting everything marked out here where they're all going to go. I'll mark them. You want to cut them and we'll get them glued?
I'll cut them.
Got jigsaw ready to go.
Ready to go. Let's do it.
On pieces to the puzzle. Perfect.
Hey, look who it is. Oh man, he's back. Thing still looks good.
Man, it does. It's only been a few months since we finished phase 1 on Ronald's 71 Suburban. It came in pretty dated, but it left with a huge custom lift, big wheels and tires, and a completely custom interior, dash, headliner, seats, and audio. You know, after he saw it, I can tell Ronald got bit by the customization bug. And sure enough, he's already back.
What's going on, Bill?
What's happening?
How you doing, buddy?
Man, how you doing?
Tim?
How was your drive?
It was good, man.
How's that thing doing, man?
It's awesome. Turning heads everywhere I go.
Yeah.
I know, it draws a crowd.
Man, that thing's still looking good.
It's beautiful, man. I'm thrilled with it.
Man, that's always good to hear.
Oh, always, yeah.
What are you doing? What brings you back?
I need some more work done to it.
Phase 2?
Phase 2.
All right, now you're talking.
Drove it around a lot, had a good time with her. Phase 2 is now on my mind. The bug bit me, and I'm totally into it. You know, I really want to take this truck to the next level.
So, Ron, what you thinking on phase 2?
I'm thinking I need more power in the motor. I need something to beef it up a little bit. I mean, it's good the way it is, but it's a big truck. It needs some power in it to push her around.
And some big wheels and tires.
It sure is, man. It sure is.
Let's check it out.
All right.
Ron, it's definitely a little underwhelming, right?
Definitely.
I mean, but you got a great platform. I mean, the LS in it is definitely the way to go. I mean, we can definitely wake this thing up.
I'm sure you can.
You know, I think what this engine compartment needs is a supercharger on this thing. New intake, you know, new exhaust all the way out the back, and some painting underneath here. You know, bring the body color into the engine compartment and just make it so, you know, you can be proud of this thing when you pop the hood.
I won't be afraid to open her up.
Yeah.
Let people see this part.
I agree, man. We need to add some color, add some style, take off this stock valve cover, stock air cleaner.
That's gotta go.
I think everything in here's gotta go.
I'm trusting you, Bill.
This thing's gonna be right. You know, it's a shame having a custom truck where you can't pop the hood. So I'm glad Ronald wants to fix up this engine compartment. I think something else that might be pretty cool on here is, the thing looks mean coming down the road at you, but maybe adding some aftermarket bumpers to really just finish off the attitude of it.
Yeah, it's got a lot of attitude right now, but you're right. I think some bumpers on will set her off.
Yeah.
Another thing is, I'm getting up there in age, man. And my knees can't take jumping out of this thing all the time.
We lifted it too high for you?
It's a little too high, man. So, some nice steps on there, whatever you think, you know, to fit the vehicle, you let me know.
Would definitely get you hooked up with that, but you know, wouldn't want to put a Nerf bar or anything on this. It just looks too clean from the side, not seeing the steps. So we'll get some retractable ones so you can still get in it easy. But
I agree.
You know,
I'd rather not know that they're even there. I think that's the way to go.
That sounds cool, man. Let's get this phase 2 going. Go make it official.
Sounds good.
A customer always tell you, hey, I'm going to come back, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that. Well, when they actually come back, they come into the parking lot, you see them back, you know we're doing a good job. We're doing what we're supposed to do. It's time for phase 2. I know exactly what happened. Once a customer gets their car for a little while, they drive around, put miles on it, you know, their brain starts working. They start thinking about, you know, what they need, what vehicle better. That just goes to show you, you know, when you're bit by the custom bug, you get that feeling. You just got to have more and more and more. You know, just like
any part of the project, especially like a phase 2. I just love that progression. I love how the project evolves, even bigger and better.
What's going on, buddy?
You remember we did this truck a while back, put the lift kit on it and all the interior? We took it back home. He wanted to just drive it for a while, and now he's saying he doesn't have enough power. So now we're going to put a Pro Charger in here, and then we're going to put a front runner kit on the front, so that'll dress up all the motor. Probably put some headers on this thing, let the air flow out of the motor a little better. He wants to just clean up the engine bay, just make it look where if he pops the hood, it's presentable.
I mean, it's decent, but I'm sure he wants it a whole lot better, right?
Yeah, he wants to add some bumpers because, you know, the truck's lifted now and in your face, you just kind of see the stock bumpers. So we're going to add something like a steel bumper on front and rear.
Some nice aggressive bumpers on it. Definitely wake this thing up.
You know, and when building these trucks, it's never done. It could be phase 10. You still got to add something.
Yeah, I'm still not done.
In order to get more access to the engine compartment, I've asked Edgar and the guys to pull the front end off.
The fab guys are gonna put a supercharger on this thing. So what I need to do, I need to take off pretty much the whole front end of this vehicle so they can have space to work on it and do what they have to do. I put tape lines all over the front end. So when everything is off, put it back together, it should be the same way. Ahí, go up, whoa, whoa, whoa. No, the other way, the other way.
Ponemos en medio.
Putting this engine apart, you know, you can tell it looks like it has a ton of miles on it, which is typical, you know, road dirt, road grime, everything from driving your vehicle, which this man did. But it's all coming off very nicely. What I'm doing is cleaning all the intake ports, and I'm gonna mask all that up, tape it up, so nothing will get inside the cylinder heads. Something gets in there, gets through the valve, goes in the combustion chamber, it'll mess up pistons, valves, all kinds of stuff. We don't want that to happen. That's why I don't wear wedding rings. Oh no. There's a big notch in this frame, which somebody made in order for the exhaust to clear. It shouldn't have been this big. When you got a notch frame like this, you got to go back and put some kind of reinforcement back in there because you just took out a lot of strength. And driving around with notches like this is really dangerous. So we got to build it back up the right way.
When we built the lift for the 71 Suburban, the headers were hiding in the cutout section of the frame. Only after we removed everything could we see it. You know, it's not only wrong, it's dangerous. It makes the whole frame weak. So John's got to fix those frame rails before we do anything else.
The issue you have with this is you don't have very much structure right here in this area. How thin it is to the wall when you're driving, going through rough terrain or whatever. It makes the frame twist and bend and everything. When it does that, it causes cracks. So what we're gonna do is go back and repair this, grind this up, clean it up real nice, make it look like it's never been cut before. I got those grinded down. I'm ready to cut out the plate to go in there. So we got us some 1.5 by 5 inches, 3/16, same thickness as the frame that we're gonna patch back up in here. But first I gotta get this piece to fit in there perfect. Once that's done, we'll get it welded in. I think it should fit in there now. One of the best things you can do when butt welding some plate together is make a nice bevel on the edges. Wherever you're gonna butt to, you do it on the plate and the material so you get a nice V groove in there. When you lay your weld down in there, it penetrates all the way through the bottom end of the plate, and you only gotta weld the top. You won't have to get to the bottom because your penetration will go all the way through. Got that fully welded in, a little smooth out, and it'll be good. We got the strength back in here. It's good as new.
Jesse finished making the plates for the custom frame on the 68 chassis. So now all we got to do is box those plates in. You know, this is the first time making a frame with cut plate like this for extensive. We never just really had the time to take the time to make a custom chassis like this because it is a ton of work. Jesse did a real good job of cutting out this 1/4-inch plate in the shape of a frame. So the next step we're going to do is wrap some 2-inch flat bar all the way around the shape of the plate. And we're gonna box it in, weld it, grind it, and it's gonna look like it's a bought piece. So what we'll do is just bend this by hand. You see we've got a flat spot here, so it needs to be a little bent, a little more right here. So bend it a little more right there. All right, see if you can get one rubbed into that. All right. You see just the layout, the drawing, the cutting, the shaping, the welding, and even the grinding. It takes 10 times more than just a regular chassis. Just a little bit. Just a little bit, move it down a little bit. So we're putting a lot of extra time into making Jose something really, really cool, really sculpted, and really special.
So as you heard Bill say, this is a first for Extensive. I'm new to the shop, so this is a first for me also. Kind of got thrown in the mix, but it's the only way you're going to learn. It's cool to be able to be working here and be working on something that's never been done here also.
You know, we got a lot of tools around here to do all kind of different metal shaping, but, you know, sometimes it's just way more efficient just to grab the metal and just start manipulating it by hand. And, you know, that's the true definition of working with your hands and being handcrafted.
Alright, I got this one close. Bill's template. A couple more bends, and it should match. It's gonna work, guys.
While we're boxing in the 68 Chevy's frame, piece by piece, over in interior, John and Brian are moving on to the next stages of the custom dash.
You know, the structure's really coming along. Everything's starting to come together and take shape. We got to have some place to put a headlight switch. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to attach that to the dash pad and make that part of the dash pad, and it'll come down and sit on top of the dash right here. Sits here. You got your headlight switch right here. It'll all tie together. It'll look pretty cool. That's the thing about these things. They're organic. They kind of take shape and do things as you work along. So as Brian's over here doing the body work and getting the lines in and everything's starting to take shape, you can really see it and know where you're headed. And, you know, you get to add those little touches to it along the way to make sure that everything flows perfectly and just nice. The cool part about it, the organic part of it, is it grows as you go. So it's enjoyable. Look what I got.
Oh, how'd you get that thing?
8-9 weeks out, we got it in a week, so wow. Can't complain.
You know.
Now all we get to do now is find out if that internet template works out.
Time to cut it.
We finally got the cluster in that we ordered online. I looked all over for a template. They didn't offer one to print out. Cheated a little bit. I blew the screen up and took a measurement until it all fit, traced it out, and transferred it. So now's the moment of truth. Let's see if this thing's actually going to fit or not.
Boom, baby.
All right, man, you got it all cut out.
It's all cut out.
There it is.
Moment of truth. Here we go. I got my toes crossed. Don't even worry about it.
Okay. Man, there's no way I got that close off of that template computer screen.
Bruh, it fits.
No way. That thing fit that good.
I mean, look, dude. I mean, we're through within 1/8 of an inch. Just need a little mud to make it dead on perfect. But, I mean, you can't get no closer than that. Just guess it.
Right on. Cool.
Sweet.
Well, I'll let B's Mud Palace go to town.
Time to mud it up.
We found a really aggressive front bumper for the 71 Suburban. You know, we couldn't find the exact right look for the rear bumper, so we're going to make it out of quarter. He's got a press big enough to bend steel that long and that thick.
What's up? All right, man. Your dad said you had a little project going on for me?
Yes, sir.
We got a bumper here?
Yeah.
Made out of 1/4 inch?
1/4 inch by 75 inches.
It's going to be some heavy-duty bumper here.
Yes, sir.
All right. We'll get it done. You can come with me.
All right, let's do it.
All right. This metal here is real thick metal. It weighs about 500 pounds a sheet. 10 pounds per square foot. So that's what we're working with. All right.
It's really cool that my dad
dad can just give me a couple pieces of paper and some measurements and dimensions. I give it to him, he knows exactly what to do.
All right, what you got now? You got 2 inches right here?
Yeah, 3 1/4, 7 1/4 altogether.
All right, we're going to get this show on the road here. This is a 12-foot long press brake. It's 250 tons pressure that has been 90 degrees. If you need a big piece of metal bent, you need to come see this brake right here.
Now let's see.
Yeah, it looks good, man.
It does.
I think we got it.
Thanks, sir. I appreciate it.
With the Suburban's frame fixed, Edgar's color matched the firewall and the engine. Now it's time for Matt to wake up that LS.
Perfect. Now that we got our motor back in it, we get our Pro Charger on it. It's a belt-driven blower. It's going to force air into the motor. With more airflow plus more fuel, you're going to get a lot more power. So motors have always been my thing. They've always come kind of easy to me. I'm always up for making things go faster. This plate allows us to mount the blower to the factory pulley assembly. And now we can go ahead and install our head unit, which will attach right to the bracket off to the side here. This is just the idler pulley here. So the motor's power will spin the crankshaft and the belt through all the idler pulleys to the blower pulleys to create all the airflow that'll come out of here. All right, so now we're gonna put our sheet metal intake on. So this intake allows for better airflow. The way the runners are built, it's designed for the air to travel smoother into the motor with less restriction. So not everything has to do with performance in the custom world. Sometimes you just want to spend that money to get your engine to look good. Part of the reason we're changing these valve covers. Factory, all the coils sit on the LS valve covers, and these ones come with no provisions for coil packs, and we're going to hide them just for the overall appearance. It's going to be a lot better looking. Next step, we're going to put our throttle body on. It controls the airflow into the motor. When you mash it to the floor, it pulls it open and allows all the air that this Pro Charger is going to create to push right in there. We got that put on. We can put our AC compressor on, and then we'll move on to putting the main drive valve for the blower on. Okay, so we're going to install a set of Shorty stainless headers. These do help with performance, but they also can make it look badass. Like it?
Man, it's huge improvement. You know, this truck's going to get a whole lot of attention no matter where it goes. And he's going to have some more power.
Quite a bit more power.
Those tools come together. The 68 C10 frames really come together nice. So we got our pieces we cut on the table, our 1/4-inch plate. It's going to be the sides of our new frame rail. We got our flat bar that we shaped to match the contour of the pieces that we cut. So we're going to put them together. Weld them all up, grind them down, nice clean lines, and all totally custom. Step is just tacking the top part of the frame in. You know, just like any project, you got to take your time. You know, the challenge to this is to not have any flat, jerky parts, and you want everything all nice and smooth and consistent. You know, we got to make sure everything is perfect, no flaws in this whatsoever, because everybody's going to be looking.
Thank you.
You know, after a whole lot of cutting, welding, grinding, hand bending, we're at the point we finally start to put pieces together, and it's finally going to start looking like a frame.
Man, this thing looks cool.
Man, it's getting there, huh?
I haven't seen one of these before, or one like this.
Yeah, we've never made one like this. I've never even seen a frame that goes under the frame, comes back and just curves around everything. This is the definition of custom. Here, help me hold this. He can clamp this. This one's going to finish up on the back quarter of the frame. Damn, that looks good. You know, we're going to be putting a lot of heat, a lot of welding, and a lot of grinding on this. You know, so I want to maintain this being level, straight, to worry about it moving. But if it does move, I can see it coming off the ground and how to correct it as we're building it.
part of the frame, everything flows together. It, starts on one side, just goes all the way around like a old school slot car track. Once this is all capped in, that'll finalize the rear part of the frame. Pop in the suspension, the whole back half is completely done.
Good morning.
Good morning.
How y'all doing?
It's going.
Give me some good news on the engine transmission for the 68.
The motor and trans that the customer ordered is not ready yet, and we don't know what it is or when it's going to be here.
That always complicates things, right?
Yeah, he can't get a hold of his transmission guy, so we don't know when it's coming, specs, we don't know anything about it.
So we can't mock anything up or anything?
Nothing at all.
And our lift space is hot commodity. We're super busy right now, so we can't afford to everything, and then it's still not here. And then the truck's stuck on a lift. So what I think I'll do is just pause the whole thing. I'm disappointed for sure, but I've been in the game long enough to know every build has its own path. Sometimes you hit a bump, but I guarantee when we get our parts, we'll get back at it. And then Jose's gonna get his 68 Chevy of his dreams, and then some. Let's have everything all lined up. That way we can pump it out.
Yeah, sounds good.
Next time I come in, give me some good news.
A try.
See ya. Come on, please. This shop never stops. One might slow down a little bit, but at the same time, phase 2 of the Suburban is almost complete. We got our super strong 1/4-inch plate all bent at a nice little angle, so it's going to look really good against the truck. So the next step is just tacking it to our bumper brackets that we made and start building. Yeah.
You want to just 45 this back?
Just kind of getting an idea, kind of seeing what looks cool, what doesn't. It might add not. It just depends on how it starts looking, how it starts taking shape. Maybe something like that. Just another part of the custom creative process of making something cool. Yeah, whatever looks cool, that's what we're gonna do.
Man, this is rounded right here, and this is kind of stepped to go with the bumper. So I'm trying to manipulate it enough to where I can make this have a bend on this side to follow this, but then I'll probably make it come out, and I'll just cut it with the rounded part, make it follow the bumper.
Let's see what it looks like.
The good part about working at a shop like this, you can do just about anything. Just whatever you think up and create, you can do it on this piece of metal. All right, now we have all the pieces made. They're all tacked in place. We have the shape to take out that big area we had right there on the body. Kind of makes it flow with the truck now. And then we can pull the whole bumper off, weld it out, and put it back on. Next thing we're going to do is make a license plate box. It's going to serve 2 purposes. It's going to hold the license plate, and if he ever tows, take the license plate off of it, and his receiver hitch is right here behind it. I knew this, but if you ever want to tow something, it kind of disappears when the license plate's on it. If you ever do need to tow something, take the license plate off, put your receiver hitch in, pull it. Whenever you get done, put the license plate back on, and it kind of hides all the receiver hitch, all that. Now, cut the excess off, then we'll put it back up and weld it on finally. We can weld it up here, all the way around, and then come back with a big flat pad and just go down it until we work it down where there's no more weld. It carries the same body lines, but you don't ever get into this hard edge, and it just looks like a more finished product.
Now that the metal work is done, the bumpers can get powder coated and then off to body and paint. Matt's all done waking up this LS with a Pro Charger. We made mounts to install the retractable steps, and phase 2 is complete. Now we're ready to send this truck back to Ronald once again.
started off with a little shack, maybe like one wall full of parts. I was just answering phones, most basic stuff ever. And then as it grew and we started selling more parts, more phone calls, more customers, more builds, more appointments. And it's where we're at now. Growing up, I was kind of a tomboy. My dad didn't have any sons for a long time, and so he raised us like boys almost, to fend for ourselves, changing brakes, oil changes, stuff like that. So everything that my dad taught me, I brought here, plus the bagged world, the bagged scene. I learned a lot from Bill, and there's no one better to learn from but him. Working with nothing but guys, it's like having nothing but big brothers around. They're always joking, they're always playing, they give, a hard time, but at the end of the day, it's worth it. We're just one big family.
Real deal, Bill. What's up, Bill? What you up to?
How y'all doing today?
Good, man. Big bro in the neighborhood. Just sliding by to get some inspiration. You got something going on over here, man.
I always like when Slim and Raymond come by, but today, I can tell they're on a little mission to see which way the tree. They're in the right spot.
We've been sitting on the same fleet for a minute, man. This time we gotta blow their mind one more time, man. The Mac's still holding, but we ready to do some more builds. Yeah. Just trying to find out what I'm gonna do next, man. Is it gonna be old school, new school, big truck, or you know what I'm saying? What? Like, get us some ideas.
Man, you already know we just always lifting something up, dropping something down, cutting something up.
What's up, Bill? Ready to load a Suburban up?
You got a Suburban?
Yeah, man. You want to check it out?
Yeah.
You know what better time for Slim and Raymond to stop by and check out our latest build? We're just about to ship off phase 2 of Ronald's latest and greatest Suburban.
Oh, man. Look at that, bro.
That's an old school. You thought it was a new one, huh?
Yeah, I thought it was a new one. That's the old 3-0. Hold on. Nothing better not getting no way of that, man.
Yeah, that thing's heavy.
That's for real. Yeah,
you don't ever see these going down the road.
Never, man. I ain't seen one in so long. I ain't never think about the old school bourbon. You would think outside the box and do something like this, huh? It's crazy.
Well, we're just finishing phase 2 of the build. What we did in phase 1, put it on the lift, ripped out all the old suspension.
You see, man, that's
a nice 4 links front and rear with air, so it's fully adjustable too.
I don't know why I go up and down too.
Oh yeah, man.
That's nice. Come on.
Put some nice wheels, nice tires, and just to give it that mean look.
That's sick, man. That's nice.
Full interior redo.
Yeah, that's crazy. I love this here, man. This look like a Slum Thug car.
It was, something new.
It'll take Bill to make you want an old school 3-door bourbon, man.
I like the wheels on there. You see them wheels?
Man, I love it, man. I love it, bro.
We took off with it, and sure enough, came right back with it. He got bit by the bug and just, had to have more. So phase 2 was getting it back in the shop. We just molded in some cool bumpers for it just to finish off that mean, aggressive look. Welded all up, grind it all down, painted, color match it, and we just fully built the back one, just all out of 1/4-inch material too. So you ain't had to worry about backing into something.
Nah, the bumpers look good.
Oh man, they look crazy.
Once we got the bumpers right, we had to make it a little easier to get in and out of it for him too, because
everybody ain't tired of Slim Thug.
Yeah, we had to hook him up and do a little something special for him.
Okay, let's see what you
check it out.
See what's going on over here.
Right.
Look at that. Still like on a new bourbons.
Right.
Yeah, man. Looks
right.
And it was here too.
Yeah, it's all tucked up. You don't even see it. So
that's dope, man.
His last problem was the car looks so good on the outside, looks good underneath, looks good inside.
Okay.
But man, everywhere you go, people ask, "Hey, what's under the hood?" You'd be like, "Oh, none." He couldn't really show it off. So we hooked him up there.
Let's see what you got going under the hood. Come on, man. Whoa! Come on, man. Look at him, man. You see that there, man? What you trying to do? Race it or what?
Yeah. What you doing?
Oh man, that's
wasn't expecting that now, right? So what we did, just a straight pull out, LS out of a truck. It wasn't anything to show off.
Ain't that a pro charger?
They trying to race it. They put a pro charge on the bourbon.
On the bourbon.
Smooth all the core support, smooth the firewall.
and finish it off with Pro Charge. Give him some power too.
Yeah.
He's got a complete package now.
It looks good, man.
Right.
Real good. Well, Bill, you know, we came through here for a little inspiration. I'm damn sure inspired, man. So yeah, me and my brother, we gotta find us an old school.
Gotta find us one.
Man, let me know what y'all figure out. You
Yes,
know,
sir.
You know where we're at.
You know we're gonna let you know real deal. Yes, sir.
Slim, I can't, because you know we're ready. And Ronald, the truck's on its way to you. When you get tired of everything that we've done now, bring it on back. We'll